Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Shake it, but get pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eyes. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Oh, you can't see me. That's a problem. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. All better. Howdy, howdy, everyone. Bible Guy here. It is Sunday, April the 12th, and it's a nice rainy day out today, or at least where I live. It's nice and rainy. How's everyone doing today? Oh, yeah. On TikTok, y'all still can't see me. That's so funny. Oh man. Okay. Hi everyone, good to see you there. Had the Moses picture on still there. We are sad. Why are we sad, Velvet Worm? Oh, now we are happy. Okay, there we go. Hooper says, hey there, Dalton. Hey there, Hooper, good to see you here. Anyways, everyone, make sure you tap that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there. And so we can have some interesting conversations about the Bible. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe today is the day that someone can convince me to be a Christian. I don't have high hopes, but you know, never say never. At least that's what Justin Bieber used to say. But we got our first guest already for the live. Joseph Dreams. Joseph, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we can get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I don't have any.
Could you do that again without using pronouns?
Let's go with Joseph.
Well, Joseph's not a pronoun.
All right, let's go with she, he then.
She, he, all right. She, he, and then Joseph, are you a Christian?
Yes, sir.
All right, young lady, which one of these 7 questions do you have an answer for me?
Bet. Is the Bible true?
Yeah, is the Bible true?
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
All right. Why should I think it's true?
And then, is Jesus the Messiah?
Well, let's stick to whoa. Let's stick to one question at a time, bud.
You asked me 3 questions though.
No, but yeah, you only
questions.
No, yeah, you only do one topic at a time. So just pick one. Which one do you want to talk about?
All right, is the Bible true?
All right.
Yes.
Why should I think the Bible is true?
It's true. Yeah. Because it says in Exodus and in John chapter 5 verse 58 where it says, truly I tell you, before Abraham was, I am. Now, do you understand that verse?
I think I understand it better than most Christians do, but that has nothing to do with whether or not the Bible is true. That's just the Bible making a claim about Jesus having a connection to God through the Tetragrammaton, but that doesn't tell me whether or not why I should think the Bible is true.
Okay. Yeah. And you can't tell me that you're an American without saying I am an American.
Yeah, because that's how English works. Has nothing to do with ego eimi or eche asher eche from Exodus 3:14. It's completely unrelated.
You don't speak any other languages, do you?
I speak Hebrew and English.
Oh, okay. You're fluent in Hebrew?
I'm good enough that I can read the Hebrew Bible.
But if somebody was to conversate with you...
No, I couldn't go to Israel, and I don't speak modern Hebrew.
Okay.
But eche asher eche from Exodus 3:14 doesn't tell me why I should think the Bible is true. That's just a claim that's made in the Bible. Why should I believe?
You're an American though, right?
Yep. So
and that's a fact.
Is this the non sequitur hour? What's going on?
No, and that's a fact that can never be taken away from you, right?
No, it could be taken away. I could, like, the American government.
You were born in Germany?
No, I could, like, lose my
citizenship. You could be born somewhere else?
I can lose my citizenship.
Could you be born somewhere else, though?
Could I be born somewhere else? No, because I'm already born.
Okay, bet.
But I could
So,
cease to be an American one day.
but you being born in America, that's a fact that can never be taken away from you, right?
Yeah. The
All
past,
right,
as
bet.
far as I know, cannot be changed.
Bet. And it doesn't matter that you were born in America, right? Because even people that were born in Australia
Could you tell me what this has to do with
also
why I
know.
should believe in the
Yeah,
Bible?
yeah. No,
Land the plane, dude.
I'll tie it all together, and just relax, bro. You want to
I'm
know,
all,
but yet you're,
I'm perfectly relaxed. It's just I don't
but
have
yet
time for
you
people
want to
bullshitting with
know.
me.
No, we're not BSing here, bro.
Also, clear out your nose before you say another word, please, for the love of God. Now,
And so, just
why
to
should
let
I
you
think
know,
that the Bible is true?
and so you being an American, right? This is truth that can never be taken away from you, right?
Yes, because that statement comports to reality, therefore it is true. Why should I think
And
that the
it doesn't.
Bible comports to reality?
I'm trying to let you know, bro. You would like to know. You enjoy talking about the Bible, clearly. And I'm just trying to put you on game, bro. I'm not trying to force nothing upon you on the real, bro. Like, if you want to know, you want to know. If you don't, you don't.
You just give me
All
the
right?
argument for why I should believe the Bible is true.
Yeah. And so, you being born in America, right? This is truth that can never be taken away from you. And it doesn't matter that you're an American, right? Because even people that were born in
Yes,
Australia,
in regards
all
to this
over the world,
in regards to this conversation, it
also,
doesn't matter that I'm an American.
and they also know that this fact feeling can never be taken away from them too, right? And who knows if they were born in America, right?
I don't, and facts and feelings are not the same thing. Facts just mean is just describing something that comports to reality.
Fact is a truth.
Yeah, and truth is that which comports to reality.
Boom. And this fact feeling, is before my time, before your time,
What?
and before the world's time,
What?
and before time was even time, right?
I don't think there was ever a time when time wasn't time.
And this fact feeling,
that's a wait. Do you recognize that's a nonsense statement? A time when time wasn't time. No, the first word, a time
no.
when
But understand
time
that this
wasn't
truth.
time. That's not truth. That's just nonsense.
You wearing lipstick?
No, yeah, your mom's lipstick.
I don't have a mother.
Oh, yeah, she's in my bed. But anyways, so, Bud, could you give me a reason to think the Bible is true? Because so far you just keep wanting to reiterate that I'm an American. Like we all know, I'm an American. What does this have to do with whether or not the Bible is true or bullshit?
Boom, I'm an American. You're saying I am, though.
Yeah, because that's how in English.
You're still saying I am, and you can't say that you're an American.
In English, first person pronoun would be I, and the word am is describing current state of affairs. I am an American, and the reason I'm an American is because I was born in America.
To mute
what does
somebody
this
is
have
to show belly,
like
animals do.
I don't care. So why should we think the Bible is true? Or are you just here to waste your time? Because I got other people waiting to talk to me. If you're not going to get to the point, I will just.
And just like salt, you'll never be able to lose your salt.
Okay, you're
sweat.
Okay, whatever you're drinking, stop doing it. Whatever you're smoking, stop smoking it. Come back when you actually have something coherent and cogent to say, because you just wasted all of our time. What the fuck was that about? Yap, son of a bitch. Well, that's an interesting way to start out the live, I suppose. Okay, dank Christian memes, and then we'll go to stop eating meat. Dank Christian memes. I'm gonna ask you three preliminary questions, and then we'll get to you. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Absolutely.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3: are you a Christian?
Yes, at least I would consider myself one. I don't know if you'd ask my cohorts if I am.
As long as you believe that Jesus was the Christ and the Son of God, that's the bare minimum for what I consider someone to be a Christian. So, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. Which one of the 7 questions on the board do you think you might have a good answer for me on?
I mean, probably my best argument would be for number 4, why you should be a Christian. Although I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to offer my perspective.
Whoa! What? Can you not read?
Oh yeah. Okay, that's fine. You can kick me out. I don't know.
Why would you
You
come
seem
up?
like a cool
Wait,
guy.
why would you come up on a live that says convince me if you're not interested in convincing me? Like, if I put up on the board convince
Well,
me, what does that say about the person that I am trying to have a conversation with?
yeah, that's fair. I just think that like anyone who would try to convince anyone else to be a Christian is not doing things right. Anyway.
Why? No, that's not true. Christians, if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible and you believe in Jesus, then you should be trying to convince people. What was the Great Commission of Jesus?
Well, I take the Kierkegaardian approach. I don't think faith is something that comes about rationally.
That's true. It's definitely not rational. No, but what was
Yeah,
Jesus's
I
command?
think
What was Jesus's command though? The Great Commission.
go and make disciples of all nation,
Mhm.
baptizing people in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And what did Peter say in 1 Peter 3:15?
I don't know.
Always be ready to give an answer for the hope that is within you. Your job as a Christian is to go and evangelize. And how do you expect to evangelize anyone if you're not interested in trying to convince anyone of the fact? Like Paul wanted to convince people. He spent all of his time in the synagogues on the Sabbath trying to reason with the Jewish people that Jesus was the Messiah.
I think it was Aquinas who said that preach the gospel always, only sometimes with words. I think it's sometimes how you live your life
that is attributed to Saint
is the best
Francis.
way to do it.
That is attributed to Saint Francis of Assisi, and it's also
Thank you.
not an actual quote from him. Actually, there's a Catholic.
I know it's one of those attributed quotes. I still think it's a valid quote.
Yeah, but you should be, if you believe that Christianity is true, you should be trying to convince me of it according to the New Testament.
Okay, we can just agree to disagree. Anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
All right. I don't understand people. I don't. Hi, Lou. Aquinas wasn't Jesus. Facts. Why are you dodging Mezzo, Breezy? Who's Breezy and why are they dodging Mezzo? Easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. Do you want to outsmart the devil? You have to learn why certain things were removed. Oh, it's easy to outsmart the devil because, you know, he doesn't exist. And it's easy to outsmart people that don't exist. Your program, which is pointless. Oh, no, there's a point to my program. Dalton getting the intellectual gifts. Oh man, yes, he does. I'm admitting twice. You've been admitted? Maybe is that what you meant to say? No, the devil doesn't exist. The devil is the boogeyman of Christianity. Hopefully that music isn't too loud and TikTok on YouTube won't mind. Preach all you want. I'm convinced it's all mythology, right? Yeah. Yes, he does exist. Do you know that hell is not hot? It's cold. It's cold now? Oh, gee whiz. Well, no, the devil doesn't exist. You'd need to come up here and give me a good reason to think he does exist. And hell isn't anything. It's not hot. It's not cold because hell also doesn't exist. Carl, are you interested in actually coming up here and defending, or are you just going to be a keyboard warrior? Only man brainwashed that it's hot. Jesus, guys, Jesus was brainwashed. Dry ice, so cold it burns. Oh man, it's so funny. What are some books you recommend? One book that I really quite enjoy, and I mention it quite often on this on these lives, is God and Anatomy by Francesca Stavrakopoulou. That's a great, fantastic book. It's all about how even though modern day Christians conceptualize God as this incorporeal, intangible being, the ancient Israelites had no such concept of God. But if you're just talking about, to Lou's point, if you're not talking about religious books, then yes, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But have you considered Isaiah 53? We got one breezy here. One breezy. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary and then they disappeared. Anyways, funny only because it's gonna be fun to watch which way you go. Carl, you might be a sociopath, Carl. Like people, like Christians who like tell me, "Oh, I can't wait to watch you burn." You might be a psychopath. Hope you picked the right book to be programmed. I didn't pick a book. I don't have a holy book. Dingus. And that's another. And see, guys, this is another really big problem with Christians, is that Christians, a lot of these Christians, like Carl, are so incapable of pulling their head out of their ass that they can't imagine how other people think. They can't put themselves into the shoes of other individuals. He thinks that because he has a holy book, that must mean that other people must have holy books. No, we don't have holy books, Carl or Carl or whatever the hell your name. I'm just gonna call you Carl. Apparently we missed 2nd grade of sounding out words. Sound out the word you're pronouncing. Hey Carl, here, I'll pronounce this word for you. Go fuck yourself. How about that? How about them apples? Carl. Let's see. He came in the room and I stabbed him 23 times in the chest. Carl, that kills people. Oh, my bad. I did not know that. That is my bad. Carl, I'm gonna mute you, and then if you want to run your mouth, you'll have to run your mouth up here, and stop being a coward. Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum. Show me puppy. Puppy is, so my sister is staying with us for 2 weeks, and that's her puppy. And so Bible Dog is quite preoccupied and quite happy right now, snuggling up on her mama. That Carl has multiple pronunciation like car and avant and garde and aviary. Yeah. I've joined your fan club for 200 days. Hell yeah, Lou. Hell yeah. That's what I like to see. Thank you so much. Man, Christians are being quite cowardly today. I mean, I've had like 2 people come up and they were really quite shite. And then no one else wants to come up and defend the faith. Carol, help me learn the Bible. I'm confused. Request up, please. Yeah, Carol. Request up. Teach us the Bible. What kind of dog is it? She's a Shih Tzu. GFY has been corrupted through multiple translations. What's GFY? Is it go fuck yourself? Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, so when my sister is married to a man who's quite wealthy, and every time she comes to visit, she always brings me some of his old clothes that he wants to get rid of. And I'm wearing some of those clothes right now, y'all. Wait a minute. I'm wearing this like all cream outfit or whatever. It's really nice. But and I got like a few different like Armani stuff from him, but I got this really nice suit from him that I wanted to show you guys. It's a Guero suit, and I took a picture so I could show you guys. Here, let me pull it up. It was just nice because I don't go out and buy a lot of clothes. But here, let me see. How do I pull this up for you guys to see? Let's see. Aha, there we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I got this nice Guero suit. Here, I'll just make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it on TikTok. Yeah. That's nice. I've never owned a suit that nice before. So, I'm very thankful to have a rich brother-in-law, you know? He loves to get rid of his fancy clothes that he no longer fits into and I do. So let's see. Gee whiz. Thank you so much, Rainbow Ash. Much appreciated. Some drip and he will be set. Oh, thank you, Lou. Anyways, everyone make sure you tapping that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there, and hopefully we can get some Christians who are interested in giving us answers for the hope that is within them. For anyone who is watching right now and who's a Christian, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I am an atheist. I call myself the Bible guy because, well, it kind of looks like I know the Bible better than a lot of these Christians on TikTok do, which is a shame. You know, Christians should know their own holy book, but it looks like they don't. But if it turns out that Christianity is true, I want to know. I want to believe as many true things as possible and to disbelieve as many false things as possible. And the only way I can come to the knowledge that Christianity is true, I mean, I've done the research and so far it's lacking. So I'm going to need some assistance from some Christians who want to come up and give me good reasons to think that any of these things in the box are true. The only thing better than a nice suit is a free nice suit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's 420. We know where the Christians are. My For You page is full of Christian bullshit. Oh, that sucks. Yes, I also like true things. You might need to try to shark them, Christians, a little bit to get them to come up. What does it mean to shark? What does it mean to shark somebody? Throw some, chum in the water and hope that they show up? Is that what that means? One second. I'm going to text my sister and see if she wants to come and say hi. Oh, wait, we got a guest. All right, we got here Cody. Cody, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 18. I'm 42, actually. But I was just wondering, why is everybody going so hard on Christians after this Epstein file was released and they're Baal worshipers? You ain't got nothing to say to them?
No one who has
You have nothing to say to the
we'll get
leaders
to
of your
one
nation?
second. We'll get to the bullshit conspiracy theory in just a second. I just
How
need
is
to
that
finish.
a conspiracy?
I need to finish asking you
No
some questions.
conspiracy.
I need to finish asking you the 3 preliminary questions, bud. Chill out. Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I'm a male.
That's not a pronoun.
What do you mean by that then?
Pronouns are words like he, him, she, her, they, them. Which one do you go by?
I'm a man. He.
He, him. All right. And then are you a Christian?
That's what I am.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
Dalton, the Bible guy, and there is no one from the Epstein Island who, and in fact, there's no one alive today who still worships the ancient Canaanite god Baal.
That is completely false. Completely
Prove it.
false. That's a false statement.
Prove it.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein's his whole
how about you
bank
avoid
account was
how
named
about,
Baal. He
how
was
about
a
you
Baal
avoid
worshiper.
how about you avoid saying that name out loud because this is TikTok, but we just call him JE. Prove it. Prove that his prove that his bank account was
that's what
named
I heard
after
anyway.
That's what you heard. Do you just believe
Yeah, it
things
is.
do you just believe things you hear?
Well, that's what you do.
No. I need evidence
Just
before I
believe in
believe.
things you're told from school.
No, I need evidence before I can believe things.
Yes. You're told in school that
To be clear,
that this is all from
To be clear, you don't actually have any evidence that anyone from the island worships Baal. You just heard it, and now you're just spreading
Nor
misinformation.
do you have any evidence that there's not a Baal worshiper in the world today?
Oh yeah, no, there's no Canaanites anymore. Who worship?
So what?
Who worship?
Canaanites were not the only ones to worship Baal.
Really? Who else worshipped Baal?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Prove it.
And we're going to fire his ass up along with everybody.
Again, don't say the name out loud, you dumbass. Jesus Christ. Here, okay. Since you're not going to be able to provide any evidence for your crazy loony conspiracy theory, you nut job, I'm going to ask you just to stick to one of the 7 questions on the board. Do you have an answer for one of the 7 questions on the board? And he ran away. Yeah. I would run away too if I didn't have any evidence from my position. I wouldn't doubt it if some of the people on the island were Christian, to be honest. I mean, Christians do like them young, from what I gather. You know, I saw a post today on Facebook of a Christian website talking about, they had a picture of a woman with covered in tattoos, and then they either Photoshop or AI, image generated a picture of her without all the tattoos, but also gave her big honkers for some reason. And they were complaining about the tattoos, and it just hit me. Oh, right. The reason why Christian men don't like tattoos on women is because you can't get tattoos until you're a certain age, and they like to maintain the illusion, at least, that they have them a bit younger. That's what I'm getting from that, at least. If any of the presidents were, they all claim Christianity, right? I mean, hey, douchebag Trump was on the island, and he's allegedly a Christian, so no Baal worship. Does he understand that if Baal was a thing that causes oppressive laws, we'd be going after it too, right? Yeah. Probably voted for Trump too, didn't he? He gives off that vibe. Anyways, could we get some Christians in the request box who aren't fucking crazy? That would be fantastic. And Christians support Trump like crazy. That is true. Pikachu. I worship Baal from Dungeons and Dragons. That's a different deity, but based on the same name for sure. Is running away manly? Asking for pronoun deniers. Hey, yeah. All the pronoun deniers are not acting very manly when they get all up in arms about, oh no, pronouns. Oh no. On the Lord's Day too. Let's get a modern prophet up here. Yeah, Hadassah or someone. Let's see. Text my sister and see if she wants to come say hi to you guys. You wanna say hi? Let's see. They always start the answer with I don't use pronouns. Yes. It's like sitting in a Ferrari and saying I don't drive cars. It's really silly. No Hadassah, please. Hey. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I was just showing them the suit you got me and stuff.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Pimpin'.
Okay. Let's see. The Lord's Day, I thought that was it's the day of Mithras. No, actually no. Sunday was not originally the day of Mithras. That is a common internet trope, but Christians were celebrating the Lord's Day on Sunday long before anyone was celebrating Mithras on Sunday. That is a fact. She is gorgeous. Hi, Bible guy sister. I'll let her know you said so. Trump cosplays Christian Bible salesman. That is true. Do we need to do a restart or something? Because what the fuck is going on today with the cowardly Christians not coming up to defend their faith? Yeah, I think I'm just going to do a quick restart on the TikTok side. Plus, we got your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable thanks to Shithead talking about Epstein. So we're just going to do a quick restart on the TikTok side. All right. And alive. Let's cross our fingers, guys, and hope that we get someone who's sensible. See, there you are. No sound detected. There is sound though. I know it's there. That's what I get from using speech to text. What? I just reading random wow, a brand new start. Reading starting just to read a message in the middle of by the way, hey William Kinney, good to see you, bud. Lone Drew, hiya. We back. Technically I never left, but you guys are now back. So howdy everyone. Let's see. Rock hard for Duncan. When you silence their voice in the comment section, soft boy, how's your dreams at night? What the fuck? Going to block? Yeah, go ahead, do it, Carol. Fucking block me. We'll miss you so much. Oh, if anyone needs me, I'll be here raging on Elder Ring. I hope it's okay to say you sent me to the best live day I've been in years. Oh, thank you. Hey, what do you know? Soft boy actually found the verbs. Carol. Like the only soft person here is you, bud. Like, you know, gird your loins, come up and stop whining in the comment section. It's so annoying. It's so like everyone's looking at you right now and it's quite sad. You really are quite something or quite nothing, to quote one of our friends. I'm gonna move this. Oop, where did it go? There it is. Move this right over here. And that way I can see y'all's words. All right. Carol found your restart immediately. Oh yeah, Carol was waiting for me to restart so they could come back in here and bullshit for us again. They're a professional bullshitter. Girl named Carol dump you? No, Carol. The only Carol I'm angry at is you. Yeah, I love that Jubilee clip. Yeah, that was really quite something, that video. Such a takedown of Jordan Peterson. Man. Anyways, I don't want to communicate. I don't want communication. You want to bully people? Only idiots. I think, listen, generally I'm not okay with bullying, but I think that stupid people do need to be shamed a bit in this country. We've let you guys get away with too much for too long. But anyways, Carol, I'm gonna, mute you again. And that way, you'll either, shut the fuck up or you'll come up and talk to us. Either way, you're muted. Carol, 0 following, 0 followers. So you've been blocked previously. Oh man. Sork, hey bud, good to see you here. We do have a crisis of people thinking their opinion is valid, which without doing any research. Yes, more people need to start. We need to bring back shaming for stupid people. Specifically for stupid people. Carol, share the live with your pals that have a backbone and will come chat. Yeah. I think Carol is just upset because he knows that, they know that they don't have any good reason to believe any of these things are true. Otherwise, they would have already come up and given their reason. 21 Christian here. Can I come up? Anyone who's over 18 and a Christian can come up. Because his name is Carol, probably. You are more than welcome to come up, Goober King. Absolutely. Let's see. Is someone running their mouth going crazy in my YouTube comment section right now? It's so funny because every now and then I'll Goober King be a star and come chat. Yeah, every time I look over at the YouTube chat, there's always like someone who's getting dogged on by my people, and it's so funny. So much just says 6'7", 6'7". Yeah, they love talking about number 6 and number 7 because God, Christians hate talking about the Bible. Why do you think it is that Christians don't read the Bible more often? Like, I just don't understand it. When I was a Christian, I was all over reading my Bible, and not just like the New Testament. I wanted to read Goober. Do I have to go over? No, Goober King. You can just, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a little pink and blue person. You click on that and you can request to come up. Anyways, when I was a Christian, I read my Bible from back to front, and I don't understand Christians that don't want to read their Bible or just haven't. They've been Christian for like 20 something years and they still haven't read the whole Bible. It's crazy. They can't read. Well, they can read, but they definitely aren't biblically literate, it would seem. And which is crazy because the Bible's it's not really that hard to read. I didn't miss a day reading and pray for hours for almost 3 years, right? I was like, nowadays when I'm on my knees, I'm not on my knees for prayer, but when I used to be on my knees, I was on my knees for prayer all the time and reading my Bible, and for some reason Christians just aren't that keen in reading the Bible, mostly because the Bible, if you actually like start reading it in depth, it tends to make people into atheists. SAR GT needs a reminder that he's a coward who doesn't call in. SAR GT, you're a coward. Call in. Let's see. Maybe someone is on Video Ninja. Wants to come up and talk. Let's see if anyone's in the Video Ninja box. No, we don't have anyone right now in Video Ninja. As long as you do it fervently. Yeah. Goober, where are you? Is it because Jesus talks in gibberish? No, Jesus doesn't even talk in gibberish. That's what Pentecostals do. The road to atheism is littered with well-read Bibles. This is true. This is true. Most people who end up reading their Bibles very fervently become some sort of non-believer in Christianity. That's my belief, at least. The only way you can read your Bible and maintain is through huge amounts of cognitive dissonance. What's your feeling on Gnostic Christians? I mean, I don't really take them all that seriously. Gnosticism isn't the original form of Christianity. It's like a spinoff. And if I don't take the Bible seriously, I'm definitely not to take Gnosticism all that seriously. I used to say that you could study yourself and to disbelieve, and never understood it until I did it. I think their literature is fun. I will say that. What do you think happens to us when we die? Kelly, I am more than happy to answer that, but you got to come up and talk to me. But I'll just give you the shorthand for it right now. What happens to us after we die is the same thing that happened to us before we were conceived. Christian bookshelves are packed with Bibles with perfect intact spines and no wear. Is your sister an atheist too? I don't think so. No. I don't. She's not like she's not a fundamentalist by any means, but I don't think she's like an atheist. She believes in God. She just, doesn't go to church, probably doesn't read the Bible at all. She just believes in God in a very generic, like cultural sort of sense. Hey, Quantanut.
Hey, how's it going?
How you been, bud?
I'm doing good. I am spending so much work on refining my neutrino argument, and no flat earther will ever appreciate this. I'm kind of
Earth-
just doing it for myself at this point.
Well, flat earthers don't appreciate science in general, so that makes sense.
I'm doing like I'm coding up Monte Carlo simulations of neutrino beamlines to to show that the results of these experiments are physically impossible on a flat Earth. None of them are going to believe it,
How
but
close
I'm doing this for myself.
were you keeping tabs on the Artemis mission?
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Amazing photos.
what an amazing time to be alive. I
We
watched
got really lucky with the solar eclipse photo.
yeah, that too. Do you believe it's a flat Earth? No, the Earth is not flat, but the Bible does say the Earth is flat, which is one of the reasons I don't believe in the Bible, Goober King. Yeah. Also, it's kind of cool that now they were able to take with them like iPhones, so like the images that they were able to capture are like pristine.
Yeah.
Can you show me where to find that, Goober King? I'm more than happy to do that, but bud, you got to come up here.
Where are all of them today?
I don't know. Like I had one guy, I don't know if you saw this earlier, but I had one guy claim that the people on Jeffrey's Island
What's up? The Goober is back.
worshipped the god Baal, which was crazy. Goober, are you at least 18 years old? What pronouns do you go by, and are you a Christian?
21, he, him, and yeah, I'm Christian, I would say.
You wanted to know where the Bible says that the earth is flat?
Yeah.
Isaiah 40 verse 22 describes God as sitting above the circle of the earth.
Doesn't mean it's flat.
Our circle's
He's sitting
flat?
above a circle.
Our circle's flat?
I mean, that's on a drawing. Circles can be three-dimensional.
No, they can't.
Yeah, no, there's a different word for that.
Oh, okay. So,
And in Hebrew they also had a different word for that.
which is
So in English, we call a three-dimensional round object a sphere. A circle is flat, a sphere is three-dimensional. In Hebrew, a chug is flat, a door is round.
and that's what it's. Which Bible are you reading? Because there's multiple Bibles.
The original Hebrew.
The original. You have the original copy.
Yeah, of course.
Can you send it to me? You know how to read Aramaic?
Aramaic, Isaiah 40 verse 22 is written in Hebrew. And yes, I can read
just saying,
Hebrew.
Wasn't the original Bible? Didn't Jesus speak Aramaic?
Jesus spoke Aramaic, but the Bible, the Old Testament, was written mostly in Hebrew.
But you're saying all these claims like you know Jesus.
Jesus didn't write the Bible, dude.
Yeah, that too.
When did I say Jesus wrote the Bible? The Bible is a collection of multiple
So,
scholars over the past.
When you say
year.
Jesus spoke Aramaic, and then he's saying that the Bible
He's been
was written
spoken
in
to.
Hebrew, this is implying, and you're like using the whole Jesus spoke Aramaic as a retort. That's implying that Jesus wrote the Bible because he's the one who spoke Aramaic, not the people who wrote the Bible.
Yeah.
Who?
Jesus. So you see
Jesus.
do you see
Jesus Christ, baby.
do you see above my head, child, what it says? It says in
Don't call me
Hebrew,
child, brother. Look.
Hayoshev
Look at you.
al
Don't call me child.
Hayoshev
Don't call me
al
child.
chug.
Brother,
I'll just turn you
brother,
down.
brother,
Hayoshev
I
al
will just
chug
pray for you.
haaretz,
I will just pray for
which
you.
means he sits upon the circle
I will just
of
pray
the
for you
earth.
because there's no arguing.
I couldn't hear a word you said. I turned down
I
my
couldn't hear a
volume.
word you say either because you were just talking over me.
I'll just mute you. So it says in Hebrew, Hayoshev
As well as I
al
have the
chug.
power to unmute myself.
Hayoshev al chug. I would love it if you could you please act like an adult? I called you a child
Bro,
because you're acting like one. Please act like an adult. Can you
I'm
do
a
that?
Goober King. I'm just matching.
Can you act like an adult? You said you were 21. Could you please act your age?
I'm matching the energy.
No, I'm matching your energy. Now, I have above my head the original Hebrew of Isaiah chapter
got so
40,
much-
verse 22. Do you acknowledge this? Yes or no?
can't let me speak. You keep muting.
I just asked you a question.
I went to go unmute my mic and you muted it. What was the question? That you have a lot of hate in your heart, and I pray for you that you find peace in it, and that you have to destroy.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore that. So anyways, do you see the Hebrew above my head? Yes or no?
Yes.
What does it say?
That you have a lot of hate in your heart, and that you should find a.
What's the Hebrew word for hate? And what's the Hebrew word for heart? I don't see those words in
I
the
think
text.
it says Uber and then King.
Yeah, you're a child. I'm not convinced you're 21. I think you lied to us. I think you're like 17 years old because you act like a child. So you can't act like an adult. We'll treat you like a child. You're in timeout now. You had your chance to come up here and you made an ass of yourself. You made a bad representation for Christianity. And now we're all less Christian because of you. Congratulations.
Snitch, can you give us a brief lesson on brain development in like young adults?
Sure. So I guess generally speaking, the frontal cortex, which is predominantly responsible for like critical thinking and basically like being able to consent and all this other reasoning stuff. To put it simply, that's what's going to be lagging in development until around your early 20s. Now, depending on who you are, typically women or female brains, they have a tendency to develop a little bit faster in regards to that area. But that being said, it's a normal curve, so there's some men who are ahead of the curve, some that are behind the curve. I hope that helps. I recently also had my fair share of back and forths with what I believe to be a child. I'm not sure if you've seen that video.
Shane
I
Brown
think I
says,
have yet.
Shane Brown says, I'm 21 and don't act like that. Good for you, Brianna. I'm glad that you are a better representative of your age group than the child we just had up here was. Holy soy foid. Ew, David, you're gross. David, you're gross. Anyone who uses the word foid is fucking nasty. Go back to Reddit, you incel son of a bitch.
No, even Reddit's not that bad. That's 4chan stuff.
4chan, that's right. Go back to 4chan, you incel son of a bitch.
Quanta, did you see that recent raw milk video?
I think so, yeah. I've seen a few raw milk videos back and forth.
Yeah, that was the kid who I had the unfortunate pleasure of dealing with.
So fun.
Blind following the blind, says Stonewood.
What they have against pasteurization. It's like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Like almost kind of like get the whole vaccine argument because they're putting chemicals, but like pasteurization is the most like they're not putting anything in. It's just a process of like. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not explaining this well.
No, you're doing just fine. It's just a lot of brain dead people who get this impression that more natural means better for you. Fun fact for all people watching. It's not
even that unnatural of a process.
Even so, though, like people like go to the store and they see GMO on a sticker and they think it's somehow worse for you. It's not. It's better for you. Our ancestors ate natural food a lot, and you know what? They died young. Yeah, give me my GMOs. I want my plants to be able to grow in inhospitable terrain so that more people can eat and be healthy. And yeah, so yay GMO, no natural.
Monocultures.
Fun fact, GMOs can actually reduce pesticide usage.
Yeah.
That is true.
See, when I was first deconstructing, I remember I watched this really great show on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix or not, but I would go to the gym and I would listen to Bill Nye Saves the World. You remember that show?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and I watched the episode on GMOs and I was like, oh my God, they really just are scamming us by saying GMO free, putting a higher price, making you think it's better for you. And every time I see the word organic, I just roll my eyes now.
Organic pesticides are actually more toxic than the non-organic ones.
Cyanide is organic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing. I don't want chemicals in my food. Your food is going to be made up of chemicals no matter what, bud. Chemicals are natural.
About you, but I stay away from dihydrogen monoxide.
Dihydrogen monoxide.
Everyone who's ever died has had dihydrogen monoxide.
That's true. I knew a guy who had too much dihydrogen monoxide and he died. Yeah. Filled his lungs up. Scary stuff. GMOs are for controlling food resources. Yeah, for giving us more food. Making it to where we can grow.
There is an issue more with capitalism instead of GMOs themselves.
Yeah.
That like companies can copyright GMOs? Like literally DNA sequences? Uh-oh. I was hoping Snitch would be able to elaborate more on that, but
I think something happened because they were cut off in the middle of talking and they're back. I think something happened to their setting, their connection. Welcome back.
Sorry about that. Hi, my Wi-Fi sucks. So I'm so sorry about that. I completely cut out. And everybody froze and turned into a robot. Though what I was going to mention is that a lot of organic pesticides are literally just like heavy metals like arsenic. So they unironically have a lower LD50, which basically means that their lethal dose is lower compared to like something like glyphosate, which is significantly higher. And there's trace amounts of glyphosate, and it's unlikely to basically be at a high enough level that you're going to have any issues. So a lot of non-organic foods actually have safer pesticides on them than the organic ones. If you want, I could provide the sources for all of that too.
You know what I need to figure out how to do for my channel, because I would love to get it. Like Justin has these lives where it'll be like him and another person are like co-hosting together, and they're not like in a TikTok box. They're like up on the screen. I need to figure out how to do that so I can invite other creators to co-host with me, like Cam, for example, to No More Bullshit's request. Suo Men Kula says, 1, Jesus is the Messiah and God. No, he's not to either of those. 2, yes. 2, no. 3, yes. No, he's a big dead boy. 4, nothing to lose. Actually, that's not true. I had plenty to lose if I become a Christian. 5 is yes, but I say no, and then no, and then no. That's so lame. Could you come up and actually defend any of these positions? Just don't bring anyone up that likes pickles. Well, you don't like pickles, Lou? On Pickle Rick? Yeah, he just did that with John. It was great.
You're gonna hate me if you guys if somebody doesn't like really niche stuff. I like some weird food combinations.
Weirdest one?
Probably strawberries on ketchup, and I love pineapple on pizza.
Strawberry on ketchup. Oh, okay, we got our guest. Suomin, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, then we'll get to the conversation. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes. Hello, how are you doing?
How you doing? And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And you're a Christian, I take it?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Pick one of the 7 topics.
Yeah, actually, I was just gonna say that because we're talking about a God or something we can't see, it's really hard to give proof that something is true. It's just based off personal experiences.
No, you could prove Jesus was the Messiah if he fulfilled prophecies, but he didn't, so he's not.
No, I mean, all of this is based off the Bible. So if the Bible were to be true, we could prove all of this, but it's hard to prove that the Bible is true to a person that doesn't believe in it,
Then it doesn't sound like it's worth believing in. If you can't prove it to people who don't already believe, if the only people you can convince are people who are already convinced, then it's not very convincing.
Yeah, so that was what I meant, that we can't really prove it to people, but instead it's based off personal, what's it called? Personal, well, something you have experienced, personal experiences.
Why can't why haven't I had a personal experience?
Because you have to open your heart firstly to Jesus,
I
and
did.
then he will.
I was a Christian. I was very open. Why did God never give me a personal experience?
If I may ask, what type of Christian were you?
I started off Protestant, but then I ended up Catholic at one point.
Okay, yeah.
But that
So
that
I
should
believe that
but that shouldn't matter, right? Like, I earnestly sought after God, and if God was real, he should have given me some sort of experience and then led me to whatever you think is the correct version of Christianity.
yeah, I believe that the most important thing you could do is to try to have a relationship with Jesus, and
It's
after
it's kind of hard to have relationships with dead people. We call that necrophilia. In order to have a relationship with Jesus, I'd have to be convinced that he's still even around.
But he's not dead. He has risen.
Prove it.
Today.
Give me a good reason to think he's not dead.
It says in the Bible that he rose on the third day.
Okay, why should I believe that's true?
And again, here's what I wanted to say from the beginning. You can't really prove something exists or
can you
doesn't exist.
can you just admit you don't have any evidence for your beliefs?
That was what I said in the beginning. We can't prove anything. We don't have any evidence, any concrete evidence. It's just
Then why
based off
say
personal
what do you
experiences.
believe it?
Why should I believe it then? Yeah.
Yeah,
If I
because
don't have any experiences, why would I believe it?
Yeah, because for me, for example, I have personal evidence, things that I have seen, for example, but I can't prove them
But
to anyone else.
why doesn't God give me some sort of personal experience? Like, I've looked at the evidence. It's not good. It's not convincing, and because it's not convincing, I can't believe. It's impossible to believe if you're not convinced. You can't just flip a switch in your head and believe in something. So God, apparently it's in God's, like, it's in his court. It's ready. It's for him to serve up a personal experience. Why doesn't God want to give me a personal experience?
Well, it isn't about that he doesn't want to give you an experience.
What's stopping him then?
But yeah, it can take time. You know, there's many people that have been atheists for, I don't know, 40, 50 years, and then when they were 90 years old, they converted.
And there are people who were Christian their whole life, when they were 90 became atheists. This is nothing. This is a big nothing burger.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that God can take time. He doesn't just do things right the second you want him to do things.
I guess he doesn't want me to believe in him. You don't know that I could die tonight, an atheist, and God would never have revealed and there are plenty of people like myself who are non-resistant non-believers. They are non-resistant. They are more than willing to believe in this if it's demonstrated to be true to them. And then they go their whole lives and no good reason is ever presented to them. And then they die an atheist. Why doesn't God make himself known to these people?
Yeah, it can take time, and you have to figure out.
No, they die as atheists. So God never reveals himself to them. Why?
Well, it isn't about that he doesn't reveal himself. It could be something like they maybe didn't understand God's voice or something.
Why couldn't God reveal himself in a way that would, like, that, so they would understand? He's supposed to be all powerful, right? And all knowing.
Yeah, he's all powerful. Yeah.
So God is all knowing and all powerful. He knows what to do in order to give them adequate information so that they will understand. And he's powerful enough to do that thing. So there's no reason why a person should die an atheist if they are, like myself, truly open to being convinced. And yet it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you truly can't hear God's voice, he has already prepared the Bible for you, so it's just to read.
The Bible's not convincing though. The Bible's full of contradictions, scientific and historical errors, and like failed prophecy. So Him preparing the
No,
Bible, him
the Bible.
preparing the Bible is a bad method for trying to convince people to believe in him.
Yeah, we do need
The
to make
Bible
that
is
better
the
version
Bible
of Jesus
doesn't have any
sometimes.
contradictions or
Oh, it does.
anything like that.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does.
Could you show me one,
Yep.
please?
The nativity of Jesus. One gospel, the Gospel of Matthew, makes the claim that Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great. You know when King Herod the Great lived?
Can you just give verses on everything?
Yeah,
Please?
Matthew chapter 2 verse 1 and Luke chapter 2 verse 1. So I'll continue with what I was saying. Do you know when King Herod the Great lived?
Yeah, sorry, what is it? Matthew chapter what?
Chapter 2 verse 1 and Luke chapter 2 verse 1. Matthew 2:1 says that Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great. The Gospel of Luke chapter 2 verse 1 says that Jesus was born during the time when Archelaus was the governor of Syria. Problem is, Archelaus was not the governor of Syria until 10 years after Herod was already dead.
Yeah, so that was Matthew chapter 2, and then Luke what?
Chapter 2 verse 1. They're both chapter 2 verse 1.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it says, in those days Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world.
Yeah, and then this was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was the governor of Syria. Quirinius wasn't the governor of Syria until 10 years after Herod was already dead. Jesus cannot be born during the reign of King Herod the Great, like Matthew says, and also during the census of Quirinius, like the Gospel of Luke says.
Sorry, just a minute. But if you look at when Herodes lived, for example, Herod the Great.
Yeah, he died in 4 BCE, 10 years before Quirinius was the governor of Syria.
So he lived from 73 or 72 BCE to 4 BCE.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that if he died 4 years before Christ,
Jesus wasn't. If Jesus, according to the Gospel of Luke, Matthew, Jesus was born sometime between, which is why we don't say BC anymore, because we use BCE before the Common Era and CE the Common Era, because if the Gospel of Matthew is correct, then Jesus was born sometime between 6 to 4 BC, which doesn't make any sense. So Jesus was born 6 to 4 years before the Common Era. According to the Gospel of Luke, he was born 6 years into the Common Era.
We are, what's it called in English? We base everything off of before or after the birth of Jesus.
We don't. Jesus wasn't born in 1 CE. Or at least we have no reason to say that. None of the Gospels make that claim. In fact, 2 of the Gospels, Matthew and Luke, make claims contrary to that. Because the census of Quirinius didn't happen until 6 CE, bud. And that's when Jesus was born, according to the Gospel of Luke.
But he was born between the 6 and 4 BC. So
no. Either the gospel, well, you can't believe that if you want to believe the Gospel of Matthew or the Gospel of Luke. Yes or no? Does the Gospel of Matthew say that Jesus was born while Herod was alive and while Herod was king of Judea?
Sorry, I'll just look it up. Matthew 2:1, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. After Jesus's birth in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of the King Herod. Yeah. So obviously he was born during Herod.
And Herod died in 4 BCE.
Yeah.
So, but the book of Luke says that Jesus was born during the census of Quirinius. And when was Quirinius made governor of Syria?
6 AD.
Yeah, or as we now say, 6 CE, because AD is antiquated. But yeah, so Jesus cannot be born during the reign of King Herod the Great and during the census of Quirinius. That is a historical contradiction in the Gospels. Would you like a more explicit would you like a more explicit contradiction in the Bible?
I just have to say that right now I don't have an answer for that. But since it's years and all of this stuff, I'll have to dig deeper in it. It's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, and this is a story where Jesus is sending out the disciples, 2 by 2, into the land of Israel to do their missionary work. And what we see here, it says in chapter 6, verse 8, he ordered them to take nothing for their journey except a staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belts. So Jesus says you cannot take any of these things except for one thing. And what's the one thing you are allowed to take?
Stuff.
Correct. Now, there's another passage. It's the same exact story, and it's found in Matthew chapter 10. So I'm going to pull that up now. Matthew chapter 10. And it's in verse, okay, I see now. Verse 9 and 10. The mission of the 12 again. And it says here, take no gold or silver or copper in your belts, no bag for your journey, or 2 tunics, or sandals, or a staff, for laborers deserve their food. He says, take nothing, not even a staff. No staff. So, what was the commandment of Jesus to the 12? Did he tell them to take the staff or to not take the staff?
What was this verse again?
Matthew 10, verse 9 and 10. Take no gold or silver or copper in your belts, no bag for your journey, or 2 tunics, or sandals, or a staff, for laborers deserve their food.
Okay, yeah, and then the other one was
Matthew chapter 6, verse 8. Mark chapter 6. It's on the screen. You can see it right now. Mark chapter 6, verse 8. He to order them to take nothing for their journey except a staff. No bread, no bag, no money in their belts, but to wear sandals and to not put on 2 tunics. So one passage says, take nothing, not even a staff. And another passage says, take nothing with you except a staff. That is quite literally P and not P.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
So there are contradictions in the Bible.
It could be something with context or whatever. So
there's no amount of there's zero context that could possibly change what the text says.
Yeah, well, so I'll have to do deeper research on this as well. But it's interesting.
Who killed Goliath?
Goliath. David.
So when I go to 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 19,
that one I can actually explain.
Really?
That one I know. It's just
then there was another battle.
Error.
We'll get to the Hebrew in a second.
That's a translating error.
We'll get to the Hebrew in a second. I'm going to read it first so the audience can see what the text says. Then there was another battle with the Philistines at Gob, and Elhanan, the son of Jaare-Oregim, the Bethlehemite, killed Goliath the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. What's the translation error?
So the thing is, I believe that the King James Version is the most accurate to the...
No. If you open up the King James Version, do you want to... When it says the brother of Goliath, what do you notice about the word the brother?
Yeah, he killed Goliath's brother.
If you look at the text of the King James Version Bible, you'll notice that the brother of looks a little bit different than the rest of the text surrounding it. What do you notice about it?
I'll look that up as
Here.
well. Second Samuel's, and then verses.
2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 19. In this version, you can't see it, but in most printed versions of the Bible, for example, if I grab my Bible off a shelf, let's see, 1 second.
Uh-huh.
King James Version Bible, which, by the way, the King James Version is not the best Bible. It's actually one of the worst Bibles out there, but we'll get to that in a second. When I open up my King James Version Bible and I turn to 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 19, and I get to the section where it talks about, yes, there it is. How do I show this to the audience? Let's see. Here, I'll just take the camera in hand. Oop. Take my camera here. All right, let's see. If I go to verse 19, what do you notice about the word the brother of in the text?
I can't actually see anything.
Here, can I get into focus? Come on, focus up. Okay, it's kind of hard to focus up, but in a good printed King James Version Bible, you will notice that the words "the brother of" is italicized. Do you want to know why that is?
I just have to ask, what does italicized mean?
Italics is a form of like writing where you might see sometimes in books where instead of just regular text, it's kind of slanted and like it's in a different font. That's called italics. And in most printed King James Version Bibles, when you read in 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 19, it gets to, it says, the brother of Goliath. The word the brother of is in italics. And the reason for that is because anytime you see the italics in your King James Version Bible, that is the author telling you this isn't in the original text. This is something we are adding to the text. That's because when we go back to the original Hebrew, which I do speak, the word brother of, the brother of, is not in the Hebrew. It doesn't say the brother of Goliath.
I am
Here.
I'll always read from the Textus Receptus.
Well, the Textus Receptus doesn't say the brother of Goliath. Let's see. If I go to 2 Samuel 21, and also you need to read older texts. Like scholarship is not. We're not in the 1600s anymore. We've moved past scholarship of the 1600s. When I go to 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 19, and I'm looking at the King James Version right now, and I get to where it says the brother of, let's see. And there was again a battle in Gob with the Philistines where Elhanan, the son of Jeroham, a Bethlehemite, slew. And look at where it says here, the brother of. What do you notice right here? Here's the brother of. And what is right here?
It's nothing.
Nothing. And that's because there is no word. The word for brother, ach, isn't present in the text. It just says that it says here that Elhanan ben Yareh or Gim bet ha-lechmi et Goliath ha-Gittai, not ha-ach Goliath ha-Gittai, the brother of Goliath the Hittite. The Gittite.
But you know, it's the same thing when you translate from Hebrew to English. Some words don't have a literal translation. For example, in the Genesis 1:1, it says that God creates heaven and earth and all of this, and there's a word in Hebrew which is et.
Et is meant to. It's because it's a direct object marker, not supposed to be translated. But again, this is not a matter of there's a word in the text that isn't getting translated. It's that your translation inserts a word that isn't in the original Hebrew at all.
But if you say from Genesis, for example, Bereshit bara Elohim et,
Yes, et is a direct object marker. It's meant to tell you that the action of bara, of creating, is happening basically at the heavens and the earth. It's telling you, it's directing it, the object that is receiving the action. That's why it doesn't get translated. But that's not what's happening in 2 Samuel 21. It's not like there's a word in the Hebrew that isn't getting translated into English, like in Genesis 1:1. The word there is just simply nothing there that would be translated at all as brother.
Second Samuel 21, and then I'll go to the brother of yeah. So Elhanan, the son of Jeroorgim, slew a Bethlehemite. And then the brother of...
Not the brother of. The word ach is not present in the text. You'll have to show us where the original Hebrew says brother.
Slew
Strong's H445.
Sorry, where Elhanan slew
Goliath Hagitai.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll say like what I said in the last text as well. I'm gonna look into this. Thank you so much for our conversation. I'm gonna look at these 3 passages and try to understand if there's something there. Yeah.
Is that it? Are we tapping out?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to thank you for your time and our conversation.
Alrighty then. Well, you have a good day, Suman.
And yeah, where I live, it's midnight, so I'm wishing you a good night. And I'm praying for you.
And I'm thinking for you. I'm praying for you. How fucking condescending. Yeah, it's always condescending every time I hear it. That was funny though. It's so nice that back when I started doing TikTok, if I wanted to show you guys something, I had to like turn my camera around and like get my like iPad and like put my phone up against the iPad so you guys could see it. And now I get to just show you guys the Hebrew directly on the screen. It's so convenient. I fucking love it. A polite one, but why they gotta end like that? It's just built in. Yeah. By the way, there is a correlating passage in the book of 2 Chronicles where it does say in the Hebrew, the brother of Goliath the Gittite. And the reason for this is because the book of the chronicler of 1st and 2nd Chronicles wrote well after works of 1st and 2nd Samuel. And the chronicler noticed there's a problem here because 1st Samuel says David slayed Goliath. 2nd Samuel says Elhanan slayed Goliath. So what did the chronicler do? He added a word. He said it was the brother of Goliath. And then later on, translators who believed in the idea that the Bible was without error decide to insert the word the brother of into 2 Samuel, just like the chronicler did. It seems like the King James Bible translators, like the chronicler, just couldn't cope with the Bible being false. Had to mute myself. I don't want you guys to have to listen to me eat my Ferrero Rocher. My sister brought me some candy. So yeah. The Chronicler is a really cool name. Yeah, it is. ASMRS. What, you want to listen to me chew my chocolate? I'm sure that there are some people for that would not be ASMR for them. All my faves
That
right
would be
here.
me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that would be me too if I was on the receiving end. Someone said, "Are you a Christian?" Hell no. I'm an ex-Christian. I thought we knew Jesus was of David's lineage. Quintavious Gooch. Quintavious, it's good to see you. It's been so long. Last time we talked was so good. When it comes to Jesus's lineage, the Gospels of Matthew and Luke make a claim that Jesus is a descendant of David, but the genealogies they give us are suspect because first and foremost, they don't end with Jesus, they end with Joseph, and Joseph wasn't Jesus' dad, according to the Gospels. And then on top of that, they contradict each other. So maybe Jesus was a descendant of David, but like we don't have any real way of knowing, and someone's scratching on my door right now. Who could that be? Who's knocking at my door? Who wants to come and see what's going on over here? Hello. Hi. Come here. Did you just get a bath? Oh my gosh, you're so clean. You smell so good. Come here. You blend right in with my shirt now. I am the one who knocks. Oh man. Here. Anyways, say hi to the people, Nini.
Puppy.
Look at the baby. Are you excited that your mama's home? Let's see. Oh, well-behaved Bible dog. She's not well-behaved. Every time I take her out for a walk, she always tries to roll around in the dirt, and she's got white fur. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Like a little marshmallow. Yeah, I got a really nice picture of her actually. Hi Dalton, thanks. I read an author you recommended, and I left my church. Quintavious, that's fantastic, bud. If you ever want to come up and like talk some more, I enjoyed our last conversation to bits, and I think about it all the time. We've mentioned you a couple times on this channel, so if you ever want to come up and tell us about the experience that you're going through right now, you let me know, bud, and we'll have you up and we can just talk and chill out. Does Jesus Christ know what it's like to get? He should, you know, he should. I have a really nice picture of Ava. That's her actual name, Ava. We call her Nini or Beep and my sweet baby. But I have a really nice picture of her somewhere. Where did I put? Here, I'll just send it to myself and so I can show you guys. I took this picture when it was snowing. That's your child's name, Ava? It's a really nice name. It's a really good name. Let me see. See, I once named a Starfield character Ava, so there's that too. Where did I put this picture? I got lots of really dirty pictures on here. I gotta make sure that you guys don't see that. All right, there we go. Oh, there she is. Okay, I'll show you guys now. There we go.
Aww.
Aw.
Yep. That's Manini. Yeah. So sharing is caring. Yeah, it was snowing and I got a snapshot of her and it was just like it was perfection. Loved it. Yeah. Who Who wore it better? I just don't. She's got all this, like, you know, a lot of going around her eyes, but otherwise, she's a cute dog. And this is her fur was really long right here, and you should see her whenever we give her a haircut. She looks hilarious. She kind of looks like Isaac Newton a little bit because her ears stay long, like the hair stays long in her ears, but the rest of her body gets a nice cut. So she ends up looking like Isaac Newton. I like her blush. Oh, that's her blush. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. She's just laying down on the floor now. You didn't want to sit on my lap. You just want to sit there, laying down. All right. All right. We got Jeff the One coming up now. Jeff, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I am.
Oh god, Lou, you're right. It does look like a ponytail. Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
What'd you say?
What pronouns do you go by?
Just he, him, he.
And are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Which one of the 7 questions on the board do you have a good answer for me for?
Okay, so I'll start with the first one. Is Jesus the Messiah, the Son of God?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
All right.
Jesus made several claims about his divinity throughout the gospel. We can start off with John, where he states that I am, and that in the Exodus, you could see that he states that I and the Father are one.
You're gonna.
So
this is gonna blow your mind.
the Father.
I think the Gospel of John is fiction. I don't think Jesus said or done any of these things.
What do you mean?
Like, as in the things that Jesus said and did in the Gospel of John, he never said and he never did. I have no good reason to think that these are historical.
Okay. So the thing that people don't understand is that, okay, for example, do you believe, let's say, for example, what can I say? Hitler. So let's say, you know, all the things that Hitler said, right? Do you believe what he said or what he did was real?
Yeah, we have footage of him talking.
Yeah, but let's just say you weren't there though.
I have footage though. And I have multiple I also have multiple known eyewitnesses who spoke of him, that we know their names, the people who wrote these works. And also, even though I have never read it and will never fucking read it, we have a book by the supreme shithead. So like, we know that Shitler existed. Jesus of Nazareth, however, we have nothing written by him. We have no works from known authors talking about him. All we have are anonymous works written by we don't know who.
No. There were multiple eyewitnesses that saw Jesus.
Who?
And
sure, saw Jesus.
John?
Well, Paul didn't see Jesus. He had hallucinations where he saw Jesus. No, he didn't. He never saw the historical real Jesus.
Okay, let's take the 12 disciples. They were there with Jesus. They traveled with him, slept with him. They were with him, and there were multiple eyewitnesses that seen what he did and what he could do.
Fun fact, though, we don't have any writings from any eyewitnesses.
Oh my! So obviously it was like what 1,000 years ago.
2,000.
They're all dead now. Yeah, they're all dead now. They're all dead now.
That's fine. We have plenty of works from the ancient world written by actual eyewitnesses or actual historians. We don't have any of that for Jesus, though. Like Josephus was an eyewitness to the Jewish wars because he participated in it, and we have his writings. But the people who wrote the Gospels, we don't even know who they are. We don't know their names.
Okay. Give me a second. Alright, so basically, so what you have to understand is that the scripture themselves claims to be the word of God. The Old Testament.
Notice the word you use though. You said the scriptures what to be the word of God?
The scriptures themselves claim to be the word of God.
Claim. So that's the claim that the Bible is the word of God. Question is, what is the evidence for that claim? Because if the Bible really were the word of God, I wouldn't expect it to make scientific errors in it, because God should know. Like, you think God should know the shape of the earth, right?
I mean, yeah, probably, yeah.
But the Bible gets it wrong.
Well, I do not know that.
Yeah, the Bible says in Isaiah 40 verse 22 that the earth is a flat circle.
Wait, where?
Isaiah 40 verse 22. It says that God sits above the circle of the earth. Not the sphere, the circle. It says in the book of Job that the earth is shaped like a clay seal, and clay seals are flat with like little upturned edges. It describes the sky is made of like a glass mirror. It's not though. It says that the earth sits on pillars. The earth doesn't sit on pillars. It says the earth was made 6,000 years ago. It wasn't. It said the earth existed before the sun. It didn't.
So, okay. So how do you think the earth was made? Because
gravity.
Gravity.
The same way all planets are made.
Gravity. You really believe that gravity created life?
Actually,
food you eat every day?
That's different. So the idea of the planet being made is not the theory of how life originated. There's many planets that don't contain life on them. Many of them exist in our solar system. So that's like one example that you can see where you have planets that can be made, but there's no life. Life was formed by specific mechanisms involving the theory of abiogenesis, which I could go over, but I'll let Dawson keep on going.
There is a chance that
Dalton,
life might have existed on Mars.
Yeah. We found fossilized bacteria on Mars.
Well, not just fossilized bacteria, but also like intermediates of metabolism, which you wouldn't expect, given the fact that these intermediates are not the most stable. We found them on asteroids as well. So like there's intermediates out there, we just haven't found specific life, but there's plenty of planets that don't contain life. So like you kind of have to understand that you're looking at two different mechanisms here.
So the way that planet is formed, bud, is that stars, they undergo what's called nuclear fusion. The stars get so hot inside their innards, if you will, that the atoms inside the star fuse together and form heavier elements. So hydrogen becomes like heavier elements like carbon and whatnot. And then when the star dies, it explodes, and all those heavy elements get flung out into the universe. And what happens is that gravity pulls these things together until over time you get whole planets that form. And that's how Earth was made. That's how every planet is made.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so do you believe that that there was a creator? You don't believe that there was a creator of you don't
No,
believe that.
I've never been given any good reason why I should think there's a creator.
Okay. So let's think about it this way. You think so just one day a big bang happened and suddenly we have animals, plants.
No,
Suddenly?
so as I literally just said, you're looking at two separate theories here. So the Big Bang theory is different from the abiogenesis theory. Abiogenesis is how life formed, which was way after the Big Bang occurred. So you're confusing a lot of theories here. What I would really recommend is looking into what scientists actually align themselves with, rather than making blanket assumptions, such as the Big Bang theory is the theory of how life formed, when it is very much not.
Also, the Big Bang theory is not a theory of how the universe was created. It's just a model of the evolution of our universe. So it just says that at some point in the past, 13 point so and so billion years ago, the entire universe was incredibly hot and dense. It does not say about what created that state or how much time existed before that, or even if the universe was created at all. It does not say that.
Okay.
Also, I just wanted to clarify the theory of abiogenesis is the abiotic formation of biological molecules, which there is evidence for. Now, in science, you don't prove things. I just saw a comment about somebody saying abiogenesis has never been proven. Theories don't prove things. They're just an explanation to explain the data that we have. We have observed the abiotic synthesis of organic macromolecules, such as amino acids, DNA, RNA, even self-replicating molecules of RNA, and specifically certain types of like ribosomes as well. That being said, all of these steps that we've observed are how life would have come to be. And unless you can provide me another explanation for why these mechanisms exist and why these mechanisms were plausible under the primitive Earth's atmosphere, then I have no other reason to believe that this is not an explanation for how life formed, as all of this is energetically favorable and very plausible given the vast amount of evidence that we have. I have an approximately 6-page list of different sources that kind of back up everything that I'm saying on my sources for discussion Google Doc. So if somebody really wants to do a lot of reading, go right ahead. And that's free to access.
Yeah, I hear you. You guys really know your stuff. You're scientists or something?
These two are.
Yep, I deal with...
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say, I deal with more than 2 atoms. The one below me, Quantanaut, he deals with less than 2 atoms.
No, exactly 2 atoms.
And I just deal with 1 Adam and 1 Eve. That's my field. So that's it.
Alright, so I want to go down the path where your 5th question, does the Bible have fulfilled prophecies? And yes, the Bible does have fulfilled prophecies. Isaiah 7 verse 14. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign.
Go on.
Yeah. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel.
Now, Jeff, what if I was to tell you that in the original Hebrew of Isaiah 7:14, it actually doesn't say that. It doesn't say a virgin shall conceive. So.
And what does it say, sir?
It says the young woman is pregnant. So, for example, I'm going to pull up for you. Oh, well, this isn't exactly what I want to pull up, but here, I'm going to pull up Isaiah. Here, I'm going to show you what the word for virgin is in Hebrew. So Joel 1:8 does have the word for virgin in Hebrew. It says lament like a virgin. And the word for virgin in Hebrew, here it is. It's the word, you see it right here? Bet tav vav lamed hey. Betula, and betula means virgin. That's the word for virgin in Hebrew. When I go to Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, however, we do not see the word virgin in the text. Instead, what we see, it says, I'll read the whole verse. Wrong. Here we go. It says, Lakin yitzen Adonai hu lakemot. Hine ha'alma hara beyoledet ben v'krat shemo Emmanuel. Therefore, will give the Lord to you a sign. Behold, the young woman, ha'alma hara, the young woman is pregnant and will have a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel. This is not about a future virgin getting pregnant in the future. Isaiah is actually talking about a young woman, a maiden who was already pregnant in his time and day.
Okay. Wait, so you're saying that Mary was already pregnant?
No, this is not about Mary. It's not about Mary. The thing, this text has nothing to do with Jesus. It has nothing to do with Mary. The original context, most likely, is that the young woman that Isaiah is talking about, because this word was given 700 years before Jesus was ever around. And Isaiah is talking about a young woman from his time that is pregnant when he gave this word. And probably his wife, the prophetess, because she's mentioned again in Isaiah chapter 8, where it says, I went unto the prophetess, and she conceived and bore a son. And then he names that second child Mahar Shalal Hashbaz. But this has nothing to do with the virgin birth. It's only been mistranslated in order to make it look as if it's prophesying a virgin birth about Jesus.
Yeah, I understand. But
that's why most modern translations don't translate it as a virgin shall conceive. If you look at Bible translations, like, for example, the New Revised Standard Version Updated Edition, which is like the scholarly recommendation on Bible translations, it translates this as, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child and shall bear a son and shall name him Emmanuel.
Yeah, okay. So, besides that, let me think. Oh, wait. Can you, kind of, move the thing so I could see the rest of your questions?
Sure.
Okay, it's loading. You really got me stumped here. I can't really think of any other prophecies besides that.
There are actually prophecies that outright failed and will never come to pass in the Bible.
Like what?
Like Isaiah 52, verse 1. When the children of Israel were leaving Babylon, God, well, allegedly God, I don't think it was actually God, but you know what I mean. God gave this prophecy to the people of Israel saying, awake, awake, put on your strength, O Zion, put on your beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for the uncircumcised and the unclean shall enter you no more. But you know what? Not very long after this, the Greeks came in and conquered the Jewish people, and the Greeks were both unclean and uncircumcised.
For the people of Zion. Let me look.
Can I just wear an oversized tee? I don't feel like wearing my best garments. Yes, go ahead. Host, how would you describe a crucifixion without ever having seen it or totally understanding it? If I'd never seen it and I didn't understand it, I wouldn't be able to describe it.
Well, I cannot fully answer your previous statement, but all I can say is that the thing I can't understand is that why can't people understand that there's always a beginning? Do you believe that?
No.
I understand the previous lady was saying that how
I'm
the
not
stars and stuff and how
I'm not convinced that the universe began.
There are multiple valid cosmological models that have not been ruled out yet that describe the universe as having an infinite past.
Yeah, okay. Wait, say that again. I couldn't hear.
There are multiple cosmological models that have not been ruled out that describe the universe as having an infinite past.
Okay.
And even the ones that have a finite past don't have a definite beginning point. They have sort of like a geometric boundary that's not like a t=0 moment.
Okay. So basically what you're saying that is that you guys haven't found that the universe doesn't have a start.
As far as
I don't have a reason to believe that the universe has a start.
Yeah. See, the way I understand it, at least my layperson brain, I understand that you can't generally get something from nothing, and we do currently have something. Therefore, there was never pure nothing. There's always been something. And because I haven't been given any evidence that the supernatural exists, the only thing that could possibly have always existed would be something natural.
Like what?
The universe itself, in one form or another. At least the things that make up the universe, the parts, the subatomic particles, or even maybe even just if they exist, the strings or the fields. Either way, something fundamental that is physical in the world has always existed, and we're just living in one iteration of the universe. But I have no good reason to believe in a hard beginning, as in there was nothing, and then time and space began, and now we have something. I have no good reason to believe that.
I don't think really most physicists think that that's likely to have happened.
Yeah.
Okay, well, finish what you were saying.
No, go ahead.
All right. So what I was gonna say is that what I think is that for something to be something, it has to have a start or a creator.
Oh, right. Really?
Like,
what about God?
Yeah. God, yeah, he is a creator.
No. Who created God? Where's his start?
God. So what does the meaning of God? God, he's omniscient. He's the beginning in the air.
Well, not according to the Bible.
meaning.
He's not omniscient.
And even if he was, that doesn't get you out of what you just said, because
Yeah.
you defined a rule that says everything that exists has to have a beginning. But now you're making an exception to that rule for no real good reason.
So why should we think God doesn't have a beginning? I mean, even if he makes the claim that he's eternal, well, some egotistical God might just make the claim to a bunch of puny mortals that he's eternal in order to make himself look bigger and better than he really is. So why? So I would just say, where did God actually come from? Oh,
Raptured.
All right, I guess we'll bring up the next guest. And if you want to send in your super chats, go ahead and do it now. And at the end of the show, we will read some super chats. Miss Casey, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1, are you at least 18? Miss Casey?
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to request.
Oh, okay. You're good. Now, Gospel Truths says God is eternal. Prove it. I don't even think he exists. Science hasn't caught up yet. Another claim that needs to be demonstrated. We know time can fluctuate depending where in space. Sure, time can stretch and can contract based on the stretching and contraction of space. But do we have any good reason to think that time came into being? That doesn't even make sense. Change requires time. In order for a change to occur, there needs to be a time where there is nothing and then something comes into being. That's a was and then a then, but that requires time.
So I will say that there is a cosmological model called the Hartle-Hawking state, in which the universe does have a finite past. And in this case, as you keep winding back the clock, eventually the time dimension turns into another spatial dimension until the entire universe is purely spatial. So no temporal, and the atemporal part of the universe and the temporal part of the universe are connected geometrically. So this is a mathematically coherent model that you could have the universe, but in that case, nothing is creating the universe. The universe just has a timeless state and a timeful state that are connected to each other. There's no
I'm going to need you
of creation.
I'm going to need you to discuss this with Ian because
yes, I've heard Ian's argument quite a bit, and I'm sure he knows about the Hartle-Hawking state. I'm sure Blitz has told them, but yeah, I am curious what their specific rebuttal to that is.
Yeah. Because as I understand it, you can't go from in order to go from one state to the other, you need to move forward in time, because there's a time when something doesn't exist, and then there's a time when it does exist.
the way that I see it is that according to like the B theory of time or eternalism, all points in time are equally real as each other.
Mm-hmm.
In very much the same way that like all points of space are equally real to each other.
Yes.
So the entire universe is defined geometrically in both time and space.
But
so
like,
there doesn't really need to be like changing like
from
one moment to another.
Yeah, I agree. But like, that would time still has to exist because all moments of time would exist, if that makes any sense. Science says
it's just saying that at the boundary of that timeline, the time dimension turns into a space dimension and loops back around in on itself.
Ooh, this is an interesting take from gospel truth. They're actually kind of biblically accurate here, but it's also problematic. And so science says matter can't be destroyed or created. I agree. God organized existing elements into creation, which means gospel truths that God alone isn't eternal, that there is something else that is also eternal that coexisted with God and isn't God. And which is, to be fair, that's what the Bible teaches. But early Christians understood that this sort of impeded upon God's like uniqueness and power. So that's why they created the dogma of creation ex nihilo. But that is the biblical perspective.
But also, like, you can destroy matter, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I also wanted to mention that even if there was like a quote unquote creator that quote unquote organized like existing molecules, I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't really make a lot of sense, because then that means that myself and every scientist on planet Earth is playing quote unquote God by using chemically favorable reactions to synthesize things like micelles for drug delivery, as well as like replicating DNA for like PCR. And all of these reactions are extremely energetically favorable, and they're the reactions that are required for life to form. And as I said, like a lot of the abiogenesis reactions are just incredibly favorable. They could occur on your kitchen counter just by combining the chemicals and exposing it to heat, which heat is very readily available on a hot primitive Earth that just newly formed. So it's like, it doesn't make a lot of like sense energetically based off of what we know about chemistry for something to have organized chemicals together, because by that logic, then we're all playing God by taking advantage of the same energetically favorable reactions. It's more easy and logical to assume that these reactions occurred on their own, which they would.
Angel Investor 70, I don't know why you think I'm crashing. I said plainly that the individual's perspective that matter has always existed, and just like, and that the Bible says that, I've always said that. No one's crashing, bud.
wait, no, I think they were describing the Hartle-Hawking state and
No,
saying
they said-
that's compatible with the Bible, but that's not.
They were claiming I was like crashing out or something like that, but no.
But they were saying that I was describing a model that is compatible with the Bible, but I'm not.
No, they're saying that they were saying the other guy was describing a model. What's his face? Christian. I already forgot his name. He was mentioning a Gospel Truths is who they were describing. Angel Investor, I don't think you know what crashing out means. Crashing out is what happens when you come on lives. And for everyone who doesn't know who this Angel Investor is, just go watch debates with Angel on TikTok and YouTube. They crash out all the time. They like to pretend to be eloquent, and they like to perform competency in biblical scholarship and scientific and philosophy, but they suck ass actually. So Sativa in decline. I'm going to ask you three preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
He, sure.
And are you a Christian?
Not really, no, but I've read the Bible a couple of times.
Are you a theist?
Not really, but sure. Let's go with I believe there's a God.
Do you have an answer for one of my 7 questions on the board?
No, I'm listening to your debates here, and I'm curious. What's your position on? Do you believe if there's a God? It seems like you're arguing
I'm an agnostic atheist.
agnostic. So you believe that there might be a God.
No.
So what is your belief?
My belief is I don't think there is a God. It's always possible that someone could prove me, like demonstrate that there is. I'm not making the absolute declaration that there are no gods whatsoever. I'm just not convinced that there is, so I don't believe in them.
You don't believe that there is, but you don't think that but you think that somebody could convince you.
Yeah, with good arguments.
So so in your mind, there's a possibility that there's a God.
Maybe. I just never been given a good argument for it.
What would that be?
I don't know. I haven't heard it.
Like, what would that idea of God be?
I don't know, because the problem with the word God is that gods are like, what's the word for their social constructions almost, and that gods are all kinds of different things. They take all kinds of forms, all different kinds of shapes. They have all different levels of power and sovereignty over small portions of the world or more or larger portions of the world. So it really depends on the culture.
For sure. Okay, I see what you're saying. There's like different levels. Yeah, no, I agree with that. What do you like disagreeing with? What level are you disagreeing with?
Any version of God, every version of God I've been presented with, I have no reason to think they exist.
But specifically, it looks like you're like asking Christians. So like, it sounds like specifically you have an issue with the Christian God.
Oh yeah, tons of issues with the Christian God, but you know.
What specifically, if you don't mind me asking, do you have an issue with the Christian God?
Yeah, that they're a prick.
I agree that he definitely examples of him being like not the nicest, if I could use the word person.
I would say evil.
Evil in what sense?
In the sense that they perform actions that are extremely malevolent and detrimental to human fairness and well-being.
So in the Bible, theoretically, if you go by the Bible, he created everything, right? God created everything.
Yeah. Well,
and then theoretically, right? Like baseline generally.
Yeah, sure.
We're not talking about like specifics or anything, but generally God created everything. So in turn, wouldn't you like agree that he's almost like, if he's justified to create everything, he would be just equally justified to destroy everything?
No, I think that if you make sentient creatures, that you have an obligation to them. Like when I make a baby, I made that baby, but like that doesn't mean I get to do whatever I want with it. Like I can't just take my baby and like punt it like a football. Like it's a sentient. It's no.
Well, you could do that.
No, as a parent, I would have an obligation to a child, a sentient
that sounds
child.
That sounds more like socially constructed, like rules that you're like following.
Sure, and I think that
just like how you're saying that.
And I would
God
say
is
that
socially
if God wants to be good, then he needs to stay in line with his social obligation to his kids.
Who's saying that he has to be good?
I'm not saying he has to. He can be an evil prick. But like, if he wants to be good,
no, I agree with you.
If he wants to be good, then he needs to he needs to take responsibility for the things that he created.
Why?
I don't know, but thanks for having me up.
Oh, okay. Thanks
Why
for
does he have to take responsibility?
Like I said, if he wants to be good, he needs to take responsibility. I'm not saying he has to. If he wants to be a prick, he can be a prick. I can't do anything to stop him. But if his goal is to be good, and by good here I mean,
where is his goal outlined to be good, though?
Say what?
Where is his goal outlined to be good? Where does it like state that God is like good? I mean, it says God is good,
in the Bible,
and God is great.
God is light, and in him there. But the Epistle of John says God is light, and in him there is no darkness.
But then you yourself give examples of how he's not, right? So it goes to show that he's both good and
evil. Yeah.
Right. But you're coming at it as he's just evil.
Yeah, it's because Yahweh is just like a fiction created by the Israelites, and that his actions reflect how ancient Israelites thought about the world.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I mean, we can agree with that. Yeah, it's like an older religion set like in an older time or created in an older time. Yeah, so thus, like, obviously the rule set are, set by
what God do you believe
older
in though?
rules.
Because I'm not really interested in talking about
It's
Yahweh
okay.
if you don't
So
believe
what
in
I
Yahweh.
consider, sure, for sure. I believe that let me just preface this by saying that I believe that what the Bible is teaching may not be like historically accurate, which is why you're able to like pin pricks at it, but like or prick pins at it, but like it's more like, as people would say, metaphorical. In certain aspects it is, and in certain historical points it is. But I would think that what it's doing roughly is like creating an outline of the general process that's happening, which what we call life. That general process of everything that is occurring, that is what I would consider God.
What does that even mean? That didn't mean anything. The Bible is the work of a bunch of ancient barbaric people groups, and the deity that they worshipped. They, despite what the Bible says, man is not made in God's image. God is made in man's image, and the Israelite God is just acts in the same way that the ancient Israelite king would act. And the Bible.
What do you think that the Bible is trying to outline, though, in general?
Well, the Bible isn't the Bible. The problem is that there really isn't such thing as the Bible as such. We have Bibles, different versions of it, and the Bible is a collection of works, and every single book of the Bible have their own authors, and each of those authors have their own like agendas. So the Bible doesn't have like a singular set goal in mind for why it was written, because it wasn't written like that.
Okay, I could see that. That's a fair point. I like that. Go on. Yeah, go on.
So now what?
So you're saying that because there's so many like books compounded into one thing that we call the Bible, that we can't really get a general outline of the purpose of it?
Yeah, because there isn't a single purpose for the Bible.
Well, I would think that like all of the books compounded in together are like my interpretation of it is that through the history of mankind, be it set in that part of the world, is showing that how like the process of mankind has heights of good and heights of bad, just like how God has heights of good and heights of bad.
Why are we talking about the
So
Bible?
it's really just like an outline of.
Wait. Why are we talking about the Bible right now? You're not a Christian. You don't believe in Yahweh. Why are we talking about the Bible?
Neither do you.
Yes, but
well, neither do you. You're an agnostic.
Yeah, I'm generally having conversations with people who do believe in that God, though.
Well, you're an agnostic atheist trying to find. Well, my assumption would be is that you're trying to find a form of God that you can agree with.
I'm trying to see whether or not Christianity is true or not. It's the purpose of this live.
So you really are just trying to like distinguish Christianity. You don't really care about if there's a God or not.
If just a generic deistic God, I don't really care. It doesn't really impact my life whatsoever.
So just the idea of Christianity existing seems to like fuel your fire. You don't like Christians just because they're Christians.
I don't like Christianity. Well, there are a lot of Christians I don't like, namely MAGA Christians.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be like thinking so malicious about people just because of the way they think. But
no, I should. No, you 100% should be thinking maliciously about people who are MAGA. 100%. They're bad people.
About MAGA? Specifically MAGA.
Yes, they're bad people.
We were somehow talked about the Bible and then moved all the way over to MAGA.
they use the Bible to justify their horribleness.
All right.
Anyways, you're not a Christian, so I think I'm going to move on to someone who is a Christian. Thank you for coming.
He, him, her. He, him, her. Don't forget the her and them.
Anyways, that was a lot of nothing and a complete waste of our time. I'm going to bring up my friend Haiku to hang out with us. Oh, and then we're going to bring up Rye23. Hi, Haiku.
Hey, friend.
Good to see you again, bud. Rye23. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I don't mind.
Well, just then give us one.
Oh, sure. He, him. That's fine.
And then question number 2. Question number 3. Are you a Christian?
I am.
Did you say I am?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy, agnostic atheist. Convince me, give me an answer for one of the 7 questions on the board and we'll discuss it.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about the resurrection.
All right. Did Jesus rise from the dead?
Yeah, I think as a Christian, I believe that.
All right. Why should I think that Jesus isn't dead?
Yeah, I just use the minimal facts argument.
All right. Let's go one by one through the minimal facts and we'll see which ones I agree with. And if I agree with it, we can just move on.
Sure.
If I don't agree with it, we'll talk about the ones I don't agree with. So fact number 1.
Sure. That Jesus was crucified by Pontius Pilate.
I agree.
Pontius Pilate.
I agree. Fact number 2.
Brilliant. His followers believed they had post-resurrection appearances.
I believe in that. Fact number 3.
Brilliant. The follower or the witnesses to the alleged resurrection had a change in personality, going from cowards to bold proclaimers of the Gospels, to the point many of them were willing to suffer and alive for the belief.
I don't believe that one. I don't know.
Okay.
How do we know what the disposition of the disciples was before and after these post-mortem appearances of Jesus?
Well, because prior to the crucifixion, prior to the resurrection, we have accounts of them, denying being simply followers of Jesus, and then afterwards we have
what accounts?
Accounts of martyrdom.
Eyewitness accounts? I'm not aware of any
Well,
eyewitness accounts.
Yeah, for example, when we see, I believe it's Simon, rejecting Jesus 3 times.
What makes you think that happened?
Yeah, I would just say it's within the Gospels. I don't see a reason to.
Why should I believe the Gospels are historically accurate, and that we don't even know who wrote them?
Yeah, I don't think you need to know the authors in order for something to be historically accurate.
Well,
I would disagree. We don't know who wrote them.
How can I tell the difference between the Gospels are true histories versus they are historical fictions?
Well, because I think you'd be hard pressed to find any scholars who would consider them to be historical fictions as opposed to biography.
Bart Ehrman?
Yeah, but Bart Ehrman considers them biographies of the life of Jesus.
I bet, but I know for a fact Bart Ehrman agrees with me that, for example, like the nativity stories of Jesus are entirely fictional.
Sure, but I think you'd also agree that Bart affirms, I believe, all of the minimal facts.
No,
except for the empty tomb.
He doesn't affirm there's even a tomb, and he doesn't affirm that Jesus and that the followers were cowards before, and that they were even all martyred. Bart 100% denies like the martyrdom because those are just later traditions. The only actual the only first century references to martyrs by any of the apostles would be Peter and Paul mentioned in First Clement, and then James mentioned in the book of Josephus, and all the other ones are hundreds of years later traditions.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think I'd agree that Bart doesn't accept every single person was martyred, but I think he agrees at least 4 of them were martyred. Being Peter, Paul, and both Jameses.
I don't know if he would affirm both Jameses. But why should I?
Did you affirm?
But there's a perfectly naturalistic explanation that is a better explanation than magic for why this would have happened.
I think individually you can give naturalistic accounts, but I think when you take all of these,
I can do it collectively. I can do it collectively.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, all it requires is one, for it to start with a singular individual having a bereavement hallucination, and then for that bereavement hallucination to lead to a collective delusion on the part of groups.
Sure. Well, just to kind of go over the other minimal facts, it would be the conversion of James, the conversion of Paul, and then the empty tomb. I think if you have a bereavement,
I don't even think there was a tomb.
Sure. It works even without the tomb. But I think for a bereavement hallucination to work, you'd have to account for Paul. I don't think a bereavement hallucination would account for his
we don't need to do that to account for Paul. We don't know anything about what led to Paul's first visionary experience of Jesus. As far as you know, as far as I know, Paul could have seen Christians being willing to be persecuted and dying for their beliefs, and it could have been convicting to him. He also could have had an immense amount of guilt for killing Christians, and this could have led to him inadvertently, slowly being convinced of the proposition that Jesus was the Messiah, and then having his own sort of visionary experience.
Well, I mean, I think we certainly know that Paul witnessed this, as he was a persecutor himself.
Yeah, sure. That's what I just said.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm confused as to why he would feel guilt from this, and why that guilt would.
Yeah, people are convicted by seeing martyrs all the time. Paul seeing these Christians willing to die for their beliefs, as far as you know, could have been very convicting for him. We just don't know, and to say that this isn't even a possible explanation is like, I think it's a bit presumptuous.
Well, I didn't say it's not a possible explanation. I think it's possible. I just think the resurrection, given all of these facts, would be more parsimonious.
No, it's not. Magic is never more parsimonious than the naturalistic explanation. We have tons of examples of people having bereavement hallucinations and tons of examples of people experiencing collective delusions. We don't have any actual examples of dead people who are brain dead coming back to life. No verified examples of this.
Would you agree that the resurrection would account for all of the facts listed?
Sure. I could make up any scenario that could account for all the facts, but the question is, what's more likely based on the available data? And I think what's more likely, because the supernatural has not yet been demonstrated, and we do know that a natural phenomenon do exist. Therefore, a more parsimonious answer would be a naturalistic explanation.
Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. I think if we both agree that the resurrection accounts for all of these facts, you seem to think there's a naturalistic explanation that accounts for them as well. I reject that. I think you were kind of explaining it. I think you were explaining it before, and we kind of cut away from that. Could you give the argument again, please?
So all it requires for example, what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15 to be true is for one or more of the apostles who were close to Jesus to have a bereavement hallucination. In this case, probably Peter, as he's the first person that Jesus appears to. Peter tells the rest of the apostles about this. They do what Jewish people do. They pray, they fast, and then they feel a sense of presence. And they interpret this as being confirmation that Jesus really is alive. And this turns into full-on testimony and belief about the resurrection of Jesus.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of issues with that. The first would be a single resurrection of one person would be kind of counter to what they believe as Jewish individuals.
No.
The second would be we have at least.
Well, let's talk about that first. Let's talk about that first one.
Just quickly, I
won't be able to remember them all, so we're going to talk about the first one.
Only two. Okay.
Did the apostles not believe that the end was soon to come?
I'm saying that Jewish individuals wouldn't expect a resurrection of one person. They would expect.
But the apostles didn't think that Jesus was going to be alone. They thought that Jesus was just the first fruits of the resurrection, and that Jesus would soon return, and that everyone else would be resurrected. They thought they were living in the last days. So it wasn't just, if you think about it, it's not really just them thinking, oh, one person's coming back to life. They think he's just the first of many to come back.
Yeah, but I think you'd agree that they at least believed he came back. They don't believe anybody else came back.
Sure, that doesn't matter. I mean, if you have a group of people who are coming back to life, there's always going to be a first, and they just thought Jesus was the first.
Sure, but we don't have anybody after the first.
Yeah, that's because, but they think that they're living in the last days, and that Jesus will soon return, and that when he does, so does the resurrection of the dead occur.
Right, and that never happened, correct?
Yeah, because they were just wrong.
So why would they then continue to believe it?
Well, they died. They died.
Yeah,
they did the same thing that Christians today do. They thought Jesus was soon returning, and then they died. We don't know what
Well,
they
the
believe.
issue is
We
well,
don't
the
know
issue
what
is
we don't know what they believed at the end of their life.
we're 2,000 years removed from Jesus' resurrection. That they were witnesses to it.
No,
So
we
I
don't.
don't think it's quite.
We
quite
don't.
analogous.
No, we don't have anyone who's a witness to the resurrection.
You don't think we have any accounts of their martyrdom? You don't think these were witnesses?
We have no eyewitness records of anyone who witnessed the resurrection of Jesus. We only all we have is Paul making the testimony that Jesus appeared to people after his death, and again, which is perfectly explainable through bereavement, hallucination, and collective delusion.
And also the Gospels.
No, it's more. Mine has more weight to it.
What's that? Sorry.
The naturalistic explanation has more weight to it because we have several examples of this phenomenon, and we have no actual verifiable examples of dead people coming back to life, brain dead people coming back to life.
No, I mean, you said we have Paul's letters. I said we have Paul's letters and the Gospels.
Well, we don't. The Gospels are just stories. They're just stories, and they contradict each other. They copy each other too.
Do any of the Gospels reject the resurrection?
No, but why would they? You would expect that if 40 years after Jesus was dead, if 40 years after Jesus died, someone created a myth about Jesus, a mythic story about him, that'd be the Gospel of Mark author, and then the Gospel of Matthew and Luke also believe in the resurrection because whoever wrote them were Christians, and then they wrote their own spin on the story. Of course, they're going to include the story of the resurrection because they're taking Mark's Gospel, and then they're adding things to it and subtracting things from it. And then the Gospel of John author would just do the same because, again, the people who wrote the Gospels believed in the resurrection. So, of course, they would include the resurrection into the myth.
So of course, I take it you reject the resurrection. Do you take it that Jesus was thrown into a kind of a mass grave?
Most likely.
Do you not think that would be easy to prove?
No, it wouldn't be easy to prove. How would you prove it?
Well, if for example, if Jesus was unalived, he was thrown into a mass grave, and the government at the time could they not simply shown?
Why would why would the Romans care?
Well, because you have people, putting somebody above somebody like Pontius Pilate.
What does that even mean? Why would the Romans care if a small group of Jews think that their dead rabbi is alive again?
Well, if they didn't care, they wouldn't unalive him to begin with.
No, they unalived him because he was an insurrectionist, claiming to be the Messiah. He's claiming to be a king, and they put insurrectionists to death. But just a group of people thinking that he's back to life wouldn't matter to the Romans.
Well, if they would kill the insurrectionist, why would they not also want to kill or at least disprove the followers of the insurrectionist?
Because they're not claiming that they are kings.
No, they're claiming to follow somebody who's above Pontius Pilate.
And they probably would Pontius Pilate believe that Jesus was alive? When after the death of Jesus.
The resurrection, you mean?
No, after the death of Jesus, because the resurrection didn't happen. After the death of Jesus, did Pontius Pilate ever believe that Jesus was alive after he died?
I don't know. We have no accounts for or against that.
So as far as I can tell, he remained a Roman, a pagan Roman, all his life, and he wouldn't care if a very small group of Jewish people thought that a dead guy was still alive.
Well, then why would he unalive him to begin with?
Why would he unalive Jesus? Because Jesus was claiming to be a king.
Yeah. So why would he also not?
That's an actual problem. People thinking that a dead guy's alive isn't an actual problem.
When would you date the creed of 1 Corinthians?
1 Corinthians, the creed, anytime between anytime in the first 20 years of Christianity after Jesus died.
Sure. Okay. So would you agree this is our earliest source?
Yeah, and all it tells us is that Jesus appeared, although the Greek word ophthe has a wide semantic range, that Jesus appeared to First Peter and then to the 12. And by the way, all that's really required to meet the criteria of appeared is for people to have a sense of presence that Jesus is present. It doesn't require any visual confirmation.
And in the case of the 500, of course we don't have their names.
Yeah, we don't know anything about them, do we?
Yeah. Do you think Paul is lying here, or do you think he's
No, I think
telling
that
the truth?
I think there's a group of 500 Christians who are probably doing what most Christians do. They pray, they fast, and then they collectively feel like Jesus is present with them in the room, and thus Jesus has appeared to them. Happens all the time in
So you would think
Pentecostal
it's kind of-
settings.
Yeah, so you would think that their kind of experience was spiritual, not physical.
Yeah, there's nothing in the text to indicate that it's physical. I have no reason to think that what Paul is relating to us is that Jesus was physically present in the room and 500 people could all physically see him the same exact way.
Do you think the Gospels present it as physical?
Yeah, sure. That's the later myth down the line. They present the resurrection of Jesus as physical. I don't think Paul does.
Well, I mean, if Paul's letter, the creed is within 20 years, Mark, the earliest sources, 20 to 30 years.
40. The
That's quite
the
a
gospel
late
amount,
date.
the consensus of scholars would place at the very, very earliest the gospel mark around 70 CE, and Paul's writings go back to like the 50s CE.
So about 37 years. Yeah, that's fine. And you would reject the gospel accounts just because is it because they're later?
No, not just because they're later, but because they outright just make stuff up about Jesus. Like, for example,
how do we know this?
For example, according to the Synoptic Gospels, when did Jesus die?
When?
Yeah, like on the calendar, on the Jewish calendar, when did he die?
Oh, you'd have to tell me.
So according to the Synoptic Gospels, Jesus had the Last Supper with his disciples. And what was the Last Supper?
Yeah. The last meal before he was, betrayed.
Yes, but it's a specific religious festival. Surely you know.
It's during Passover.
There you go.
Oh, sure. Okay.
The Last Supper was a Passover. Yeah. Do you know when you eat the Passover according to the Jewish calendar?
I'm not familiar.
So the Jewish people have a 12-month calendar, sometimes a 13-month calendar, depending on the year, if it's a leap year. Sure. And the first month of the calendar is called Nisan. On the 14th day of the month of Nisan, that day is called the preparation day of the Passover. On that day is when in the afternoon, you slaughter the lambs. That evening, when the sun sets, it is now the 15th of Nisan, and you eat the Passover meal, and the whole following day is the Passover. According to the Gospel of Mark, Jesus and his disciples eat the Passover meal, so that would mean that all of the following events, like Jesus says in Gospel of Matthew chapter 15, verse 25, that Jesus was crucified at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's on the 15th of Nisan, the Passover. When we get to the Gospel of John, however, the author of the Gospel of John has a theology that Jesus is, quote, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. And because of that, he says that Jesus was crucified on the 14th of Nisan, the preparation day of the Passover, in the afternoon, the same time when the lambs are being slaughtered. In other words, he changes the day and time of Jesus' crucifixion in order to make a theological point. If he's willing to do that for one area of Jesus' life, make something up in order to have for his agenda, then there's no reason to think that he and the rest of the gospel authors aren't also doing the same thing for other areas of Jesus' life. I don't trust the gospels as telling us what Jesus actually said and did.
Well, you said that John has this kind of theological agenda. Sure, I'll happily agree to that. Do you think Mark also has this agenda?
Oh yeah, all the gospel authors have theological agendas. That's why they're writing the gospels. Like, for example, despite the fact that we have no good reason, like Paul never tells us that the family of Jesus were like skeptics or anything like that about Jesus or his identity, it's quite obvious that the author of the Gospel of Mark, and a lot of scholars think this, present Jesus' family as being antagonistic towards him because there are Christians in the 70s AD CE who are also experiencing sort of opposition from their family members. So presenting Jesus as one who also had opposition from family members serves as a good, strong theological point. It helps teach a lesson. Or having Jesus baptized so that Christians have an example of what to follow. As Jesus says, let us do so, for it is good that we fulfill all righteousness. So, yeah,
I'd agree. It could teach a theological lesson, but just because it could teach a theological lesson doesn't show to me why it didn't actually happen.
Well, I can say
in other words, I think both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, I could say that Jesus cannot be crucified at 9 a.m. on Passover, and also crucified in the afternoon on the preparation day of the Passover. Those two things cannot happen.
Oh yeah, that's fine. And again,
someone's not telling the truth.
Sure, but you don't deny the crucifixion, right?
Sure. The only facts that I am willing to say about the historical Jesus is that Jesus of Nazareth was a Jewish man and itinerant preacher who was crucified under Pontius Pilate. And that is all I'm willing to say about the historical Jesus. I don't grant any other facts about him.
But if all four Gospels have this theological narrative, why would you even accept he was a real person or that he was crucified?
We have writings about Jesus outside the Gospels. Josephus.
Well, yeah, but they come decades even after the Gospels.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Like Paul,
so I
believe Paul when he says he knew the brother of Jesus. It's kind of hard to meet someone's brother if that person doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, couldn't the skeptic, couldn't you just say he made this up?
Why would Paul lie about meeting Jesus? I never once claimed that Paul lies about his personal beliefs.
But I'm asking, couldn't the skeptic just say Paul made this up?
But why would he?
Well, because if you deny the resurrection, why wouldn't you deny other things?
I don't think Paul is lying about his. I don't think Paul's lying about his belief about the resurrection. I don't think Paul's lying when he says that people had Jesus appear to them. I don't think Paul's lying about that. I just think that there's a naturalistic explanation.
Okay, so you think he was truly convinced of the resurrection?
Yes, of course. Paul
and again,
had his own visionary experience prompted by something, we don't know what. He probably honestly believed that Jesus was actually not dead. I just think he was mistaken.
You repeat the last bit, sorry.
Paul probably honestly believed that Jesus wasn't dead. I just think he was mistaken.
Okay, but because you would affirm he was dead.
Yes, because a naturalistic explanation will always take precedent over magic.
Sure, and again, you said you trust things like Jesus existed and he was crucified because we have other sources, extra biblical sources. These things come later. You said that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's the supernatural claims, like the great, like a claim that a Jewish man existed and he was crucified. Well, thousands of Jewish men existed and thousands of them were crucified in the first century. That's not an extraordinary claim. When you start to introduce the supernatural claims, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So I don't need as much evidence I don't need extraordinary claims for a Jewish guy existed and he was crucified. That was commonplace in the first century CE. I need a lot more evidence and this Jewish guy came back to life.
Sure. What would that extraordinary evidence have to be?
That's for you to figure out. I'm not going to do your homework for you.
Well, no, but because I think we have sufficient reason to believe in the resurrection. You're saying we don't, so I'm asking what would be sufficient?
I don't think you do have sufficient.
Personally.
I don't know what would
the evidence. So then what would be sufficient?
I'm not going to do your homework for you. It's your job to figure that out. You present the evidence, and I'll tell you if it's sufficient or not.
Sure. Well, I've done that. You said it's not, so I'm asking what would be sufficient.
I'm not doing your homework for you, but I'm not doing your homework for you. If I knew what the answer was, I could definitively prove that Jesus was dead instead of just like holding the null hypothesis, the null position. But like, I'm not doing your homework. What would strengthen the evidence that Jesus was resurrected?
What would strengthen you believing that it actually happened?
If you had a non-Christian source that testified to seeing Jesus after he was already dead, then I would believe that Jesus was alive after he died.
What if that non-Christian source became a Christian?
Well, multiple sources actually, because one guy seeing one guy doesn't really prove anything. Because again, hallucinations, all kinds of, or just mistaken identity. But if we have multiple sources from non-believers, people who have no skin in the game, saying, "Yeah, that Jesus guy, he was around even after we crucified him," that would be convincing. It would like at least raise the probability. But all we have is Paul making the claim that Jesus appeared to people, and again, that Greek word he uses there is sufficient for just sense of presences. And then we have these other works, the Gospels, who we don't know who wrote them, and they contradict each other, and they make stuff up about Jesus. So like, it's not really all that good of a source.
Yeah, my last question would just be, sorry. Oops. Oh goodness, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. I've lost it, man. I've lost it. But I appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Take care.
The magic will never be more probable than any naturalistic explanation. You want me to even put magic as a variable? Prove that it exists. Haiku, how have you been, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. My sister is in town for the next 2 weeks from Chicago. So like, really glad to get to spend time with her. I've been playing Starfield a lot because of the new update. And I got lots of food in the house, so I'm happy. It doesn't take a lot to make me happy.
I'll probably be coming to the large city near where you're located in August if you want to hang out.
If I got my car working by then, we'll see about that. It's I'm terrified. I'm terrified of driving anywhere because my car, even once I get it, like driving just to the, where I live. If I drive 30 minutes away to that other town next to my city, I risk my car breaking down on me. That's how bad it is. Last time I went to that town, my car ended up like breaking, and I couldn't drive it for weeks.
I got you.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit. One of these days, I have never had this, and I can't wait to have this one day, but a car that is reliable enough for me to drive from places to places and not be terrified that I might not make it home. That will be such a huge relief that I've never felt my whole life.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would love to go to Dallas. And I'm fine with saying Dallas because Texas is big. I would love to go to Dallas, but just my car would not be able to survive that trip. 100%. We have another guest. You have an emoji for a name. So what should I call you?
Joe.
Joe, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, I'm 21.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
Why does everyone ask this question? I don't get it. I'm obviously a guy. It's obviously him.
It's a test. It's a litmus test.
Oh yeah, I'm a guy, bro.
What guy's not a pronoun?
Bro, what pronouns do men have?
Well, I've known men that go by he, him. I know men that go by
So
they.
it's obviously he, him.
I also know men that go by they, them.
That's good for them, bro.
So
Okay,
you go by which one?
He, him. Obviously, I'm a guy.
There you go. Well, it's not obvious. But anyways,
Do you mind my voice?
That doesn't mean anything. Well, I'll tell you a story. One time, I spoke to someone face to face, even heard their voice, and I told them, because I was a bagger boy at the time, I said, "You know what? You have a good day, sir." To which this old lady said to me, "If one more person calls me sir, I'm going to go crazy," because they had just undergone cancer treatments. They had very short hair, but their body and their voice, very mannish. So we don't assume things here. Anyways, and you're a Christian?
Of course.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. Which one of the 7 propositions and the questions on the board would you like to give me an answer for?
The second one, you said, what do you mean is the Bible true? Obviously it is.
Do the contents of the Bible comport to reality, yes or no?
As in?
Like when the Bible says that a thing happened, did it happen?
Of course.
All right. So I'm not convinced that it was, because the Bible can't even agree as to when Jesus was born. It gives 2 contradictory stories.
It doesn't.
It does. So do you...
The Bible doesn't give the day that Jesus was
well, no, it tells us,
anyway.
it gives us the rough year, and it's got 2 different stories, and they contradict each other, and they place Jesus' birth 10 years apart from each other. So do you believe that Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great?
I believe that Jesus was born in. Wait, what? What's the question?
Do you believe that
He
Jesus
said
was
Herod the Great.
Yeah, do you think Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great?
Who is that?
Have you read the Gospel
Is
of
he in the
Matthew?
Bible?
Yes, he's in the Gospel of Matthew.
King Harry of the Great of what?
King Herod, King Herod the Great. The king, he was king of Israel.
But like, what does he have to do with Christianity?
We'll get to that. Have you read?
I'm confused.
Have you never heard the nativity stories of Jesus?
I've not heard of King of the Great. No, I've not heard of that.
During Christmas time, y'all never read like the birth story of Jesus?
Yeah, Jesus born in. I've never heard that. No, I've not heard that.
Have you heard the story of the wise men traveling from the east looking for the coming king, and then they go along the way and they come across King Herod, and he tells them, "Oh yeah, I want you to go, talk to this new king if you find him, and then come back and let me know." That was King Herod the Great.
Oh yeah. Okay, so then I do know who you're about. Then yeah.
Okay, so do you confirm and believe that Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod?
I mean, if King Herod told them to go and visit Jesus, then yeah, he obviously was born then.
Do you want to? Do you know when King Herod? I don't. But do you know when King Herod the Great ruled Israel?
No, I can tell you.
He ruled from Israel from the years 40 BCE to 4 BCE when he died. Yeah. Now, the Gospel of Luke also tells us in Luke chapter 2. Oh, Jesus Christ, my fingers. Luke chapter 2 about the birth. This is about the birth of Jesus. It says, in those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. And this was the first registration, and it was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. So do you also believe that Jesus was born when Quirinius was governor of Syria?
Which was when, and that was when? 6
CE, 10 years after Herod was already dead.
So you're saying that you don't believe it because of a 10-year discrepancy?
Yeah, these stories can't both be true. I can't believe.
Okay.
I'll tell you this: I can't believe the nativity stories.
Okay.
Like, can
okay,
Jesus?
So like, what does this have to do with the Bible being true though? Like the entirety of the Bible.
Wait. Is Luke chapter 2 and Luke chapter and Matthew chapter 2 part of the Bible?
Yes.
All right. Is what they say about Jesus true?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Wait, how was Jesus born in 4 BCE and then born again in 10 years later? Did he crawl back up into his mother's vagina and get born again?
Wait. So wait. What is the question that you're asking me?
How can Matthew 2 and Luke 2 both be true if they place Jesus' birth at 2 different points in history?
But you're only saying that because of a 10-year discrepancy, though. Like the 10 years, what is that?
What here? Why is Jesus born in Bethlehem according to the Gospel of Luke? If you leave the screen, we can't hear you.
I didn't write the Bible, bro. I don't know why you're asking me that.
Okay, so I guess I'll just have to teach you the Bible then. The reason why, according to the Gospel of Luke, Jesus is born in Bethlehem is because his parents travel from Nazareth to Bethlehem to register in the census of Quirinius. So if Jesus was born during the time of King Herod, then the reason for them to go to Bethlehem is not even existent.
I don't understand what you're asking me. So you're saying basically
it's not
was Mary pregnant for 10 years? What is the question here? Now, what is the exact question you're asking me?
This is not difficult. Okay. I'll play it very, very slowly for you. The Gospel of Luke says that Jesus is born in Bethlehem because of the census of Quirinius. That is the reason why Mary and Joseph traveled to to Bethlehem from Nazareth. If this is true, then the Gospel of Matthew can't be true because the Gospel of Matthew says that Jesus was born during the reign of King Herod the Great. And the census, the reason why Mary and Joseph would travel to Bethlehem in the first place wouldn't be a factor for another decade. These stories cannot both be true. Either one of them is not true or they're both not true, but they both can't be true.
Okay, so and this is why you believe the Bible isn't real.
This is why I don't trust the nativity stories. I can give you a whole nother reason. Like the Bible says the earth is flat. Can't believe the Bible if it says the earth is flat.
But where does it say in the Bible that the earth is flat?
Isaiah chapter 40 verse 2 says that God sits above the circle of the earth.
Okay.
What's a circle?
So what you're saying, a circle is flat?
Yes. For all of us who went to kindergarten, yes, circles are flat.
Okay, so what would you believe if it said that God sat on top of the orb? So what you're saying is basically interpretation.
No, it's what the text says.
Yeah, but it's the way you're interpreting
How
it.
does one interpret the word circle? What could that mean?
A circle could be an orb.
Nope. That's a sphere. Those are two different
Yeah,
words.
isn't it shaped like a circle?
No.
Okay.
Can we just clarify for a moment, Joe? Are you stating that you would agree that there was at least one apparent contradiction, that one part of it may not be true?
No.
So you're saying that you think both of these are true?
Yeah, both of these nativity stories are true.
Of course, it's in the Bible.
They can't be both true. Okay. Here,
So-
Joe, let me use an analogy for you, Joe, because you seem to have a hard time tracking. If there are two people who write a biography about me, the Bible guy, and one says that I was born during the administration of Bill Clinton in 1996, and then the other author says I was born during the Bush administration in 2006, can both of these things be true?
No, I guess not.
All right.
When
When one gospel says that Jesus was born around 4 BCE during the reign of King Herod the Great, and another gospel says that he was born 10 years later during the census of Quirinius, can these both be true?
But you're forgetting that this is all just like speculation, bro. Like
It's not speculation. It's not speculation.
First of all,
it is. We don't.
Go on, Haiku.
Joe, these are historical facts, but also I want you to know, you seem to think 10 years is a small number here. That is the bare minimum, and Dalton's being gracious in granting the bare minimum of time of separation. If you go back to the beginning of King Herod's reign and the end of Cyrenius's reign, you could actually have a much larger gap, up to like 50, 60, 70 years.
What I think is they just both talk about different points of the same story.
No, you're not. Could you, do me a favor and stop being intellectually lazy. Okay. You need to, you are working with unequal weights and measures. You were very easily able to say that if I was born 10 years apart in two different biographies, that's not true. As soon as I said it about Jesus, suddenly it's true. Either I can be born in both 1996 and 2006, or Jesus can't be born in 4 BCE and 6 CE. Be consistent.
What I think is both of them are true. They just both talk about different parts of the story.
No, they can't both be true. The only way they can both be Joe, the only way they can both be true is as I said, if Jesus crawled back up into his mother's vagina and was born a second time. Are you about to sit here and tell me that Jesus did that?
What I'm telling you is that both of the things you're saying right now to me are true. They just highlight different parts of the story.
No, they can't be. They can't be. Because why is Jesus' family in Bethlehem? Let's see if you were listening at all. Why is Jesus' family in Bethlehem?
That's where he was born.
Why was he born there? According to the Gospel of Luke.
He was born.
That's a circular answer.
Jesus was born there.
You weren't listening, were you? You weren't listening.
The answer's on the screen above you if you want to read it.
Yeah, here. I'm going to read it. No. You need to learn the Bible. And this is the bad thing about Christians is you do not know the Bible. So we're going to read your book to you. Okay. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was the governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house of the family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged, and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in her hands, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place in their guest room. So, according to the Gospel of Luke, Joe, why was Jesus born in Bethlehem instead of Nazareth?
What I think is...
No, I don't care what you think. Answer the question. Why was
the
Jesus born in...
The census you're talking about was probably before the Corinthians.
It was...
A translation. Yes, it was.
It was not. The census of Quirinius, the census of Quirinius took place in 6 CE. Do you know why Quirinius became the governor of Syria? I know you're furiously.
What I think about
I know. It's not what you think. It's what ChatGPT thinks, because you're ChatGPTing right now. Why did Quirinius become governor of Syria? What happened that led to him acquiring that position in government?
Guy, I'm not a Bible scholar, bro. I'm not a scholar of the Bible.
I'll tell you what happened. The only reason he became governor of Syria, and the only reason a census ever occurred in Judea, was because of King Herod's death. King Herod died.
But wait, this guy...
Hush.
Wait.
Shh. Okay, it's okay.
I'm not a child,
it's
bro.
okay. Shh. It's okay.
All right, man.
So King Herod the Great died, and his kingdom was divided amongst his 3 sons. One of those sons was Archelaus. He's mentioned in the Gospel of Matthew, in fact. Archelaus received the region of Judea, and Archelaus was so bad at his job, he was so shit, that the Romans exiled him to Vienna, and then they annexed the region of Judea to Rome. And when they do that, they had to do a census. First and foremost, they had to put someone in charge over Judea, because Archelaus was no longer king. So they put over Judea Coponius as the first procurator of Judea. And then they had Quirinius. They made him governor of Syria, and then he did a taxation, a registration over the people of Judea. And this was so not well received that, according to Josephus, the people revolted, and it led to the death of over 3,000 Jewish men being crucified for the revolt. So Quirinius is not governor of Syria, and cannot do the registration without Herod's death first having occurred.
So, as I said before, that refers to the registrations of the census before Corinthians, as I said.
Corinthians.
Well,
why are we talking about the Corinthians now?
We just are, bro. We just are.
Do you?
But I understand.
I don't think you know what's happening right now. You just randomly dropped the name of a random people in Asia Minor. Why are we talking about the Corinthians? They live in Asia Minor. This is crazy.
So can I speak about being on mute or what?
Why did you bring up the Corinthians? They had nothing to do with this conversation.
I thought that's what you're talking about.
No, I have not once said the word Corinthians into this entire argument. You're the first one.
He heard you say Quirinius, and he thought that was Corinthians.
Oh, okay. No, we know for a fact that can you show us what the facts we know about Quirinius historically? Where do we get our information about first century Palestine history?
I don't fucking know.
The answer is Josephus.
I don't know,
I know you keep the thing is you keep making these declarations that I'm wrong when you know absolutely nothing about the history of first century Palestine. Nothing.
Because why? I don't care about first century Palestine.
Why? That's what we're talking about. You don't care about the setting of the gospel?
Nah, I'm saying I don't care about first century Palestine.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Joe doesn't care about facts. He just cares about his dogmatic beliefs, and facts be damned.
Okay, wait. What are the other questions here? Because I feel like
Are
We're
you
just
just
looking stuff
are you
up.
are you admitting that? Are you going to admit that these two events cannot possibly take place?
Okay. In this one, I'm not educated enough in this one to really say anything about it.
When Jesus sent the disciples out on their mission, I'm going to read to you from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6. This is the story of Jesus sending out the 12 on a mission, and I'm going to read this. He says to them, he ordered them to take nothing for their journey except a staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belts, but to wear sandals and to not put on tunics. So a list of things that he says you cannot bring, but there's an exception. What can they bring?
You tell me.
Were you not listening?
Bro, stop asking me questions and just say your thing.
No. When
I keep saying something.
Joe, when I start reading the Bible, this might just be your problem. When someone starts reading the Bible, do you just like zone out? Like you don't have enough respect for the Holy Bible to listen when it's being read to you?
I'm listening.
Okay, so I will read it again, and then I will ask you the question again. So listen. Be a good student, buddy.
Okay.
He ordered them to take nothing for their journey except a staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belts, but to wear sandals and not to put on tunics. So there's a list of things they're not allowed to take. There's one exception. What is the exception?
That they can or can't take.
That they can take. What's the one thing they can take?
Was it the shoes thing? The shoes, right?
No.
You're not tracking at all.
Okay, I'm gonna have you read what it says on the screen. Read verse 8 and 9.
He ordered them to take nothing for their journey except a staff, no bread, no bag, no money in their belts, but to wear sandals and not to put on 2 tunics.
So what's
what is it? The 2 tunics?
No, they can't take 2 tunics.
Bro, just get to your point, bro, please. Oh my God.
No, here's the problem, Joe. No, Joe, here's the problem.
Okay.
I don't think we can have this conversation because you're not able to track the simplest line of reason. So
it's because you're just bombarding.
And so I'm not bombarding. We've been talking about one thing at a time this whole time. So
Okay. Let's change the topic.
No, I think we're gonna leave it off there. I don't want to waste any more time with you, and we are at the end of our show. So you need to get better at listening and get better at learning when someone talks to you. When someone is trying to read the Bible or teach you something, you need to let the information go into your ears and into your brain and absorb that information so that when I ask you questions, you will be able to answer them. Otherwise, because that's how this works. I don't just tell you the answer. This is a very Socratic what I do. I ask questions so that you can learn and that you can get led to the answer on your own. Enough of that.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite king. King of great. That's my favorite king in the Bible. King of great.
King of great?
That's what he said when you told him King Herod the Great. He said something like, "I don't know who King of Great is." I'm like, King of Great is not what his name is. It's King Herod the Great.
King
he's
of the
like
Greats.
King the Great.
King of
That's
the
my
Greats.
favorite king. King of the Great.
Oh man, Dalton, I need you help, please. What's up? No more bullshit. Don't you got 10 minutes left? No, I've got.
There's a contradiction though.
I've got 2 minutes left. Oh wait, why is the? Wait a minute.
King of Great and Corinthians.
There's something going on here. My timer here is off from the actual real world clock. It says here I got 2 minutes, 1 minute left, and now it says over here 6 minutes left. All right, I guess we'll bring out one more guest then. Christian Lane. Hopefully Christian Lane will be better at learning things. So Christian Lane, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
I am, yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I'm he, him.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
I absolutely am, yes.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. Which one of the 7 questions on the board would you like to give us an answer for? Just pick a number.
Let's number 7.
Number 7. Is there justice in Christianity, Christian?
Yes.
All right. I don't see it anywhere. So
okay, can I explain my belief a little bit?
Sure.
Because I don't believe in eternal conscious torment, and I don't believe in annihilationism.
You're a universalist.
I hold to the apokatastasis.
That's great. Listen. I think that's a better position to hold to than apokatastases. In fact, when I was on my way out the door from Christianity, I went from believing in eternal conscious torment to accepting apokatastases specifically. And for anyone who doesn't know, apokatastases is the theological belief that was held by Origen, that one day, that eventually everyone will be saved, even the devil. Eventually everyone will return and turn back to God, which I think is a swell idea. But even then,
so can I explain how I differ a little bit from the standard belief that Origen held?
Sure, but I'll just let you know though, even with universalism, there's still injustice in Christianity.
Okay. So what I believe is that people who accept Christ into their heart, their life.
You're cutting out, bud. Is that just me, or are they cutting out?
No, he's cutting out for me too. It's really bad. He's cutting out.
I probably will lose it soon.
What?
I probably will lose it soon. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can barely understand anything you're saying, bud. Are you driving right now?
I'll probably try to come up another day. I appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do not drive and live. Absolutely not. I don't even know. So wait, next time you call in when you're not behind the wheel. I guess I'll just bring up Zach then, since that didn't work out. We'll just make Zach our last guest. Zach, are you at least 18? Zach?
Hey, Zach, you're muted.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hey, guys.
Are you at least 18?
What was that? Sorry?
Are you at least 18?
18. Yeah. I'm 23.
All right. Yeah. And what pronouns do you go by?
Sorry, what does that mean?
Pronouns are words like he, him,
like,
she, her.
He. Sorry, he.
All right.
Sorry, I'm not really good at speaking English, man.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You answered the question a lot easier than most people, so you're good so far. And are you a Christian?
Okay. Yeah, I'm a Christian.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Which one of the 7 questions on the board would you like to discuss with me?
Let me have a look at it. And I'm gonna go with question number 6.
Is God good, Zach?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Why do you think God is good?
Well, there's a lot of things that you can prove that God is good.
Yeah. Go ahead with the first idea, with your first reason.
So first reasons, or first idea of like knowing that God is good, because honestly, whenever I face like life challenges, like he's the only person that was like
you do know that
like housing.
Any challenges you experience in life is because God gave you those challenges. So he's like,
in the other way around.
My question is, would I be a good person if, let's say, you and I were standing on a boat, and let's say you couldn't swim. If I pushed you overboard, and so that you were drowning, and then I threw you a life raft, would I be a good person?
Definitely not.
All right.
Yeah.
You say that God does all these good things, but ultimately all the evil in the world is God's fault.
No. I feel like it all started in the
Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden. Yeah, exactly.
And the Garden of Eden is God's fault. So let me use an analogy to explain why it's God's fault and why he's a bad parent if the book of if the Genesis is true. Okay. Let's say I'm a dad and I've got 2 babies. And these babies are so young they don't know the difference between right and wrong. Okay? And I put them in a playpen, which is supposed to be a place where babies are safe. And in fact, I give them all these toys that they can play with and they're good to play with. And I tell them you can play with all these toys. But I also put in the very center of the playpen a big old butcher's knife. And I tell the babies, you can play with all these different toys, just don't play with that or else you'll get hurt. And then on top of that, I let someone into the playpen that I know is going to like prod and push my kids and tempt them into touching and playing with the knife. Am I a good parent or a bad parent?
I think you're a good parent.
I'm a good dad when I put my kids in danger. I put the knife in the pen. I told these babies that don't know the difference between right and wrong to not touch it.
Yeah.
And then I let someone into the playpen that I knew would tempt them into playing with the knife. How am I a good dad? If the kids get cut and slice themselves and maybe even kill themselves, that would be my fault. I would be a bad parent. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
God creates a garden and he puts 2 humans in the garden. And these humans do not know the difference between good and evil. They lack the knowledge of good and evil. Then he creates all these trees that are good for them. But he puts one tree in the very center, which is bad for them. It could kill them. And he tells them, don't touch it. But again, they don't know the difference between good and evil. They don't know it's wrong to disobey. Then he lets someone into the garden, a serpent, that tempts them. Is God a good parent or a bad parent?
That's a hard question. Yeah, man, maybe, yeah.
It's God's fault what happened to Adam and Eve. God's all knowing and all powerful, meaning that anything that happened to Adam and Eve, he knew would happen and he could have stopped it, but he didn't. So all of the evil in the world, God is responsible for that, including the evil that has occurred to you, which is why Isaiah 45 verse 7 says, I, the Lord, create the light and the darkness. I create good and evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So how is God good?
For me personally, God is good because like he gave us like commandments to follow.
His commandments aren't good though.
Yeah, commandments are good, and that he also like gave us free agency like to choose.
Well, I don't think he did, but that's a second topic. The commandments part. The commandments of God, some of them are kind of good. Some of them are really, really bad. Are you aware that God gave commandments on how to own slaves in the Bible?
I wasn't aware of that.
Luke chapter 25. It's not Luke, sorry. Leviticus chapter 25, verses 44 through 46. God says to his people Israel, and I quote, as for the male and female slaves whom you may have, and while the English here says whom you may have, the Hebrew is a bit more explicit. It says whom you will have. It is from the nations around you that you will acquire male and female slaves. You will also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you, who have been born in your land. They may be your property, or they will be your property in the Hebrew. You will keep them as possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you will treat as slaves. But as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. Is that good or bad?
That's definitely bad.
I'll give you another example.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've probably heard that, when women have sex for the first time, that sometimes they bleed, right? Okay. But do you know that for 43% of women, that doesn't happen? They don't bleed the first time they have intercourse?
I don't know that.
Now, there's a commandment in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, where God tells the Israelites that if there's a young woman who's married to a man and they have sex for the first time, what happens in the ancient world is they put out a cloth and she would bleed on the cloth the first time they have sex. And the guy could say, listen, you gave me this woman as a wife. She didn't bleed. I have proof of it. And you know what the Bible says should be the punishment for her? She gets put to death. She gets put to death. And if it's true that 43% of women don't bleed, then that means roughly 43% of ancient Israelite girls were being put to death for something that they were not guilty of. Oh, sorry. Only 43% of them bleed. So actually the other 67% of them don't bleed. So it's even a higher number of girls who would be put to death for something they didn't do. How about this?
Man, that's all right.
I understand. It's listen. I can tell you're actually thinking, and that's a good thing. So I'm gonna present you with one last thing before we go. Okay. You probably understand that when it comes to justice, that the punishment should fit the crime, right?
Yep.
All right. So, like, for example, we would have recognized that if someone goes to the supermarket and steals an apple, it would not be good if the judge gave them prison for life, right? Because it doesn't measure out.
Exactly.
Now, am I a finite creature or an infinite creature? Zach?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Am I
finite?
Finite meaning like limited, and infinite meaning without limit. Am I an infinite? Am I infinite or am I finite?
Like you're finite.
I agree. All humans are finite. The only one in the Bible who is infinite is God. Now,
yeah, exactly.
As a finite creature, is it possible for me to do any action that is infinite in magnitude?
No, not at all.
I agree. Finite creatures can only do finite things. Infinite ones like God could do an infinite action. So any crime I could possibly ever commit can only be finite in nature. I cannot commit any crime which is infinite. So it would be unjust for me as a finite creature to receive a punishment that is infinite in scope. Right?
Right.
And yet, for my finite sins, according to the majority of Christians in the Bible, I will receive infinite punishment for my finite crimes. For something, by the way, I had no control over, because the only way to get out of hell is to believe in Jesus. But the only way you can believe in something is if you're convinced that that thing is true. And if I haven't been convinced, I can't believe. And therefore, because I've never been given good reason to believe Christianity, I am now going to be suffering forever for finite crimes for something I had no control over. Is that good or is that bad?
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
I'm going to lead you to think on these things. I want you to think about them for a little bit. All right. And then
that's good. That's good. Yeah.
On another day when I'm live, after you've given it some thought, come back and we have a conversation again. My days that I go live are on Saturdays and Sundays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right.
Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for adding me on your live.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have a good day, Zach.
Yeah. You too as well.
That was a good call to end the live on, I think.
Very honest.
Very honest. Very good. Come back after a break, Dalton. We need more of you. I will be back on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, though, I'm going to go and eat my dinner because my sister's home, and me and my mom, we don't really do a lot of cooking around the house, but she does. So I'm actually going to get to eat a proper meal for the first time in a month. And I've been eating sandwiches and stuff. I've probably lost a lot. In fact, I actually have lost a little bit of weight, guys. And let me show you guys something real quick before I head out. Let me see.
And everyone, as you can see, this is the wall. There's a wall behind Dalton. It's not a real wall, it's just green screen, but you can see it's there. It's a nice wood paneling, and there's even a plant next to it. And if you listen very closely, you can hear Dalton in the background. Yes, Grumpy Butterfly, the infamous paneling. This is the wall talking. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou. I appreciate it.
I can't find it right now, but I'll just tell you guys. Like when I was trying on that new suit that I got from my sister, from her husband, I went and oh wait, there it is, right there, me my closet. Okay, so when I went and put on my new suit, I went to grab my belt so I could get strapped in properly. So a couple of years ago, I went and I did a wedding because I am an ordained minister, and I performed a wedding for my friends. And I, dressed up for it and stuff like that. And I bought this belt. And when I bought this belt, it was too small for me because I was a bit of a bigger boy. And like I had to like actually use a knife to cut a new hole into it. Today, when I put my belt on, I was able to use this strap. This hole right here, one of the actual proper holes. So like I've at least gotten that much off my waist, which I was really happy about. Like I know I kind of brush it off, but I do get called fat quite often on these lives by asshole Christians. And it is just nice to know that I am steadily actually losing some amount of weight. So that's nice. Let's take a look. I actually have older pictures from back in the day. Let me see if I can find them so I can show you guys what I used to look like. Go to my photos. Let's see, where are those? I got those wedding photos. Oh wait, I got them
Now,
on
Dalton, how'd you become an ordained minister, anyways?
Oh, easy. I went online to the Universal Life Church, and it literally took 10 minutes. It's like it's not hard at all to become a minister on there. I got my license, and I've performed 2 weddings actually. I did my friend's wedding, and then I also did my parents' wedding earlier last year. They're divorced now, but so maybe but my friends are still married, so there's that. Where did I put this? Oh, here we go.
Well, my parents were never married to begin with, so
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. But here, I'll show you guys some of these. These are let's see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So this is how big I used to be. So I've lost a little bit of weight. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
There he is with the book and with the Bible in his hands.
Yeah. So
Or actually, I don't know if it's a Bible or not. I can't tell, but he's doing it.
It is a binder. It is a binder. But yeah, so I am thank you so much, Lou, and everyone. I appreciate that. But I am happy that I've lost a little bit of weight since then, and I can feel better about myself. And fuck all the haters. I've got good arguments and I like food. So fuck all of y'all. Duncan
yeah.
likes vertical and horizontal pedaling. Hell yeah. That's funny.
You're the one that created the schism. What are you talking about?
No, the paneling. There's the
the paneling.
They're vertical right here, and then in the wedding pictures it was horizontal.
We were talking about the paneling while you were gone.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, anyways, and let's see who's live right now that I can send you guys off to go take a look to go raid right now. Let's see.
Do you have any super chats?
Not today. No super chats today. So
I sent one earlier. Did you see it, or I didn't know if you saw it or not?
It doesn't show up here at all.
Well, I'll just tell you. It was someone in the Discord. I think like 2 people in Discord now have said that your tiny URL link doesn't work.
Oh, but geez, I'm sorry to the person who is actually waiting in the because there are 2 people right now. Wait a minute. I'm just gonna show this, guys. I'm just gonna show you all this real quick. There's someone waiting in the
YouTube box.
Oh wait, I gotta see. I just gotta see what
it's
this is.
Dumbledore.
Hello? Guy with a beard?
I knew Dumbledore had faked his death. He was just pretending. He's back now.
Hello, who are you? With the I can't hear you.
These things are a little.
There we go.
They're a little poor.
Now I can see. Now I can hear you. Hello. I don't really have time for a conversation, but you piqued my curiosity. What's
no? I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry about Joe. I just wanted to apologize. Me and the guy, the man, Yahweh. We just felt like we should apologize for him and so many other people that you've been having calling on our behalf. They don't know what the hell they are talking about, and we're real sorry about that. So I just want to make sure you're okay and let you know we don't care what size you are. It's all right. We good. Everything's good, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Well, thank you, God.
I'm the janitor. He's not here right now. He's a little busy. I don't know. He got a lot of projects going on. It's a big universe, buddy. It's big, and there's a lot of stuff to do. So I just need to clean it up.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Haiku?
No, I don't do haikus. I don't know how to write them.
That's totally haiku.
They are complicated things you folk came up with. I don't know how to do that stuff.
I thought his voice sounded familiar.
But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make a little something better happen for you tomorrow to make up for the nonsense that happened today. All right?
Okay.
I'm real sorry about that. We'll talk another time. Just keep an eye. I don't use that TikToky stuff. I apologize, but I can't use that. They want me to verify my account. I don't have a proper device. This is a rig. You don't even want to know what I'm working with here. I'm just saying. I have to cook things up all the time. There's always dust getting into my device. Your moon. Whew, I tell you what, man, it's dusty as hell. I hate sweeping that shit up. I am so sick of sweeping that thing up, buddy. I'm telling you what. So, anyway, You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. But
okay.
You
gotta go. You gotta go eat dinner. I understand. I'm gonna go eat sooner or later myself. So.
Okay.
You have a nice night, buddy. I really apologize for Joe and all the people like him. They don't listen to that book. I tell you, I know you like the book. You play with it. It's a bunch of dumb. Just don't listen to that. It's nonsense. Okay. Yahweh didn't authorize that shit. That ain't done in his name. I'll tell you what. he's a little pissed off about that. He sent a guy down here trying to straighten y'all out. And next thing we know, y'all was tacking him up. And it was not a fun thing for him, but that's all right. I took care of that, shot down there, and they'd thrown him in a cave, and I rolled the rock in front of us. I rolled the rock away and took the kid out and took him up to see Yahweh. He's doing all right now. But yeah, don't listen to those folks. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And of course, when they insult you, they just reveal. They're just telling you what kind of people they are. You know?
Yeah.
You're a good person. You're a good person, Duncan. I like you. I like you. I can tell.
Well, you have a wonderful Sunday, janitor.
Yes. Sunday. Oh shit! I should probably do it. All right. You have a good night, buddy.
Good night.
Bye now.
So that was haiku.
Haiku, did you
That
see
was
that?
That was not me. Look, now I'm offended that y'all think that would be something that I would do. I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, Dalton, we must know what's for dinner. Here, let's by the way, Johnny, just so you know, people on Video Ninja, they cannot hear my guess on TikTok.
Oh, I know. I was just everything I was saying was like just I don't know. Just because I thought it was funny. That's all.
Here, I'm just gonna give homegirl a call real quick and ask her what's for dinner. I'll put this on speaker.
Oh, yeah. I'll ask him in a second. No more BS. Hold on.
She's in the next room. I'm literally just calling her though because. What's for dinner? What are we having? My audience wants to know.
Hamburgers.
Hamburguesa. Okay, sounds good. Looking forward to it. All right, I'm about to come in there and eat it up. All right, love you.
No more BS wants to know if you have any movie recommendations.
Movie recommendations. Like movies in general or religious films?
They didn't specify.
Well, I'll just give one answer for each. Religious films, The Prince of Egypt, from DreamWorks. Watch it. It's a good movie. Non-religious related films. Right now, my favorite movie is it's so hard. I don't know if I even have a. Oh, I guess he didn't ask for a favorite movie. It's just a movie recommendation. I'm
but your favorite movie would be a good recommendation, though.
Yeah, I can't think of a favorite right now, though. So I'll just give you a good one. There's a movie called I think it's called Upside Down, and it's a sci-fi film. It's about, and I'm just a sucker for romance because that's just me. But like, there are these two planets that are really close to each other, and everyone who lives on one planet has their own gravity, and the other planet has their own gravity. And like, there's these 2 points really close to each planet where they meet up, and a girl from the very rich planet meets a boy who's part of the poor planet, and they fall in love. And they each have different gravity, and it's like the way that they play around with it. I think it's called Upside Down. Let's see if I can find it just real quick before we head out. I'll show you guys a trailer of it. Just to end things out on before I send you guys off to someone. Let me see if I can find a trailer for an Upside Down trailer. Yep, this is it. All right. Let's see.
I'm gonna hop back down. I tried to let you know that wasn't me.
Oh yeah. Gotcha, bud. Okay, love you, bud.
Bye, Haiku. See ya.
All right, let's see.
Hey, what's your name? I can't talk to you. Why not? You're from down below. I'm Adam.
The 3 thieves from down below arrested last week, raising interworld tensions.
We don't go down to their world. We certainly don't want them coming up to ours.
They observe a full separation between worlds. There's to be no contact.
Anyways, you get the idea. I don't want to get copyright striked or anything like that. But yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a sci-fi romance. I am the kind of person where I don't like cry a lot in my day-to-day life, but watching movies, I for some reason always cry in almost every single movie I cry. And I love anything with like love and romance, or like not even like romantic love. It could be like familial love. I cried watching Onward recently. So like, you know, just rating Cam is unavailable. I'm devastated. Oh, Cam is not live right now, so we can't send a raid to her. So let's see who is live right now. It looks like Justin from the I'm the Same Dalton. Hell yeah. Lou, we are just two birds of a feather, you and I. It looks like Justin from Deconstruction Zone is live right now, and along with the ACA. So go over to Justin over Deconstruction and the ACA, the Atheist Community of Austin, and let them know that the Bible guy sent you. All right. And with that, I've been the Bible guy. Remember, everyone, to keep reading, keep learning, and we will see you all again on another day. Oh, it says I got chat revenue. And it's like $36 of chat revenue, which means like someone there must be a problem here. Let me see if there are super chats that I can look over here and see if maybe I missed the super chat. So let me holy
Also,
shit.
Dalton, you could
There
pull it
are super chats, and for some reason it didn't show up, but luckily I got them right here on. So I'm gonna read that real quick, guys. For some reason they didn't show up, but I got your super chats right here, so I'm gonna read them. Because I don't, you know, I can't do this. I can't do what I do without y'all's support, and I want to make sure that I give a shout out to all my people. So thank you everyone to the super chat. So I guess we'll go one at a time, and they won't show up on the screen, but I'm going to read them nonetheless. So let me get my handy dandy voice changer. I think today we'll go with the Ashland voice.
Hell yeah.
Rainbow Ash with the $2. One's in the chat if you think Dalton is a hottie.
Oh, thank you so much, Ash. I very much appreciate that. I don't get a lot of I don't get that a lot. So like it's very much appreciated. So yeah. God. Anyways,
And at Swascow with the $2. Is she a Morty? So cute.
is she a Morkie? So cute. What's a Morkie? Morkie, a Morkie. I don't know who this was in reference to. But the answer is the dog. Is the dog a Morkie? A Morkie must be a breed of dog. I think she's a Shih Tzu. But so there you go, Floscow. Here, let me take a look and see what a Morkie looks like, because maybe she's not a Shih Tzu, but I'm pretty sure she is. Morkie breed. No, she's definitely not that. No, she's definitely a Shih Tzu. She's a little Shih Tzu. Well, I don't know. She actually does kind of look like this one. Here, let me type in white Morkie. White Morkie. Is a Morkie like a mixture between a Yorkie and a different dog? She kind of looks like this dog, but if I was to type in white Shih Tzu, no, she's definitely a Shih Tzu. She's either a Shih Tzu or a Morkie, but she's giving Shih Tzu more than giving Morkie.
Hey Dalton, do you have a PO box, by the way?
I don't have a PO box yet. But I do plan on eventually getting around to making one of those things where what are they called? Where you go like on Amazon, you can see the things I want, and people can buy them from me. I just got to find a way to do that. Hi, Casey.
That would be a great idea.
I just got to find a way to do that without letting everyone know where I live, because you know people are crazy.
Justin has one.
We could be pen pals, Dalton. Absolutely. Let's say, where was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then at
At Johnny B with the $5. Hey Dalton, apparently some people are having trouble with the tiny URL link. I think 2 people have said they were having issues to praise Peggy.
Well, I had, God's janitor came up, so they had no trouble coming up, and there was another person in the box. You can get a virtual mailbox. Casey, you'll have to message me on TikTok and let me know how that works. Yeah.
Probably user error then.
Yeah, user errors. I probably what I'm gonna say it probably goes down too.
And then
There is one person in the Discord right now that has no roles or nothing. I tried to tell them how they can get roles, but I don't think they saw my message.
That is Ashlyn's job. She dispenses the roles, and because I don't run the Discord, Ashlyn is the absolute boss of the Discord. She runs it. She's the goddess.
Okay, sounds good.
We have one for Rocket City Reason. Okay, fantastic. All right, and then
at Kirby Shine with the $5. Good eye, mate. Oh, no. Hello, Governor. Different island. At Sean 701 times in the chat says you're not an atheist and your heart is open, presumably to Quab. He's scared to call in and wants to talk about Einstein.
well, to this person, what the name Sean 701. I am an atheist. I lack a belief in a deity. Therefore, I am an atheist. So, yeah, that's that. I don't know what else to do, but besides that.
And at Fern Love Bun with the $2 sent a non-TikToker the tiny URL link. Working?
Sent a non-TikToker the tiny URL link. Working? Yes, it was working, but we only had time for the one guest. But thank you, Fern, for that.
And that's Liquid with the $5. We went from Joseph birthed Jesus yesterday to Mary birthed Jesus twice today. This is some advanced spiritual biology.
You see, guys, you just have to like. Oh, here, let me fix this because right now you're probably hearing me doubled up, aren't you, Johnny?
No.
Oh, that's weird. All right, I'll just excuse it then. Anyways, yeah, I mean, listen, guys, you have to have spiritual eyes to see the truth. Mary gave birth twice. Jesus was able to crawl right back up in there because he wasn't ready to come out. And then he just like stayed in his mama's womb for another 10 years and then was born again. He was the first one to be born again. You just have to have spiritual eyes. Silly.
And then William Finney, hey bud, with the $10. From what I've witnessed during the live stream today, I don't think atheists have anything to fear when dealing with Christians. You are great, Dalton. Congratulations on your progress and success.
Thank you very much, William Kinney. It is sometimes I have to stop and really take it in, and it is very surreal because literally just last year we were doing this. I was sitting in my room with a tripod and my phone on it, and that was it, just me and a phone. And now if y'all could see my setup, when I get my room cleaned up, I'll take a picture so you guys can see like the current, like my office area right now. It's quite nice, and I look forward to when I move into the apartment, because I'm just gonna make the living room my set area. I'm not gonna have a living room. I'm just gonna make it the set room, and I'll just live in my bedroom. Yeah. So there's that.
And at Oren Pact with a $1.99. Last chat.
It wasn't in fact the last chat, Oren, but I appreciate your donation nonetheless.
And then nonetheless, fuck me. And then at Space Cadet Jen with a $1.99. Here you go. Hey.
Thank you so much, Space Cadet Jen. I know that Space Cadet is it's like it's not something we say in America. I think it's something they say over in like maybe Canada, the UK, and Australia. Space Cadet is like Lou, help me out here. What is a space when you say that he's such a space cadet? You're saying he's like out there or something like that? Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I've heard Aussies say it before. Out there, not with it. Delusional. Yeah. Okay. I thought so. But also, yeah, Jen. Really fun name. I think it's fun. Space Cadet. There's so many times when I hear people from outside of America, they use certain phrases. Like yesterday, I said that I think that calling gas petrol makes a lot more sense than calling it gas. Space Cadet is fun. I also like that y'all call I like the word pram. I think that's fun. A baby in a pram. Yeah. Just fun. Anyways, what are you even talking about anymore?
One last super chat from @SimpleProgrammer with the $20. Testing super chats. And you know what?
Thank you so much. It looks like wow, that's so weird because if you guys could see my screen right now, literally out of all the super chats that we had today, the only one that showed up on the super chat thing, I'll show you guys my screen. You'll see that let me make this really tiny on TikTok so y'all can see it properly. My screen looks like you'll see like on the one side there's the YouTube stream, and then on the other side there's like where I keep the super chats, and the only one that showed up was the last one, testing super chats. Well, yours made it through on this, but luckily I found all the rest of the super chats on my other thing. So you know, because I want to make sure that you guys are heard, because I appreciate you guys. So anyways, I think that covers everything. So guys, one last announcement. I super appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate all of you guys, the audience, the interaction. I'm so glad I get to do this for a living, and I say it all the time, but I have to just keep letting you guys know that I'm super appreciative. Anyways, we're gonna send a live stream over to Justin and the ACA. Tell them that the Bible guy sent you. And with that, I've been the Bible guy. And Oren, one last super chat. Send it again. One last super chat.
She was born and raised American. Mom called me Space Cadet. $1.99.
Well, hey, your mom's fun then. All right. Okay. Anyways, I've been the Bible guy. Remember to keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you all again Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.
See you later, Dalton. You have a good night, all right?
You too.
Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame, he tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the stars align, knowledge and thunder intertwine. Reason ascends where blind faith fell. He reads the word and he reads it well. The Bible guy, seeker of the light. Through time and fire he rides the night, with reason's blade and wisdom's cry. The world shall hear the Bible guy. Scrolls of ages, words aflame. He dares to question every name. From Eden's dawn to Calvary's sky, he breaks the chains of every lie. Logos, Logos, the word and the flame. Reason shall rise and truth has a name. The Bible guide, he shines with reason's holy light. Through myth and faith, through earth and sky, forever our rights, the Bible guide.